University next.
The campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C., and the Rattlers of Florida A&M come in to take on the Bison of Howard University. 23rd time these two teams have met. It's an overcast day here in the nation's capital and what promises to be a real air assault. Hello again, everyone. I'm Charlie Neal, and I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to MEAC College Football Saturday. We want you to hold on to your seats because this promises to be a wild ride this afternoon. We could be here till 6 o'clock if these two teams throw like we think they're going to throw. Let me bring in my partner, Joyce Jackson. And Joyce, of course, Ronnie Duncan normally is with us, but he's a little indisposed today. But how important is this game for these two teams?
You know, even though we're in the first half of the season, this game can determine who wins the MEAC. Hampton University, as you know, is atop the standings right now. Howard University already lost to Hampton University. The Rattlers will play them down the schedule. So if Howard University has any notion of winning the MEAC, they must beat FAMU today.
And talking about Florida A&M and that high-powered offense, the last 3 games they've scored 198 points. That is the 3 games that they've won. That's an average of 66 points per contest. One of the reasons for that success is a veteran wide receiver by the name of Jacquay Nunley, who's the leading receiver in the conference with 37 receptions.
The reason why he's the leading receiver is the fact that after he catches the ball, he picks up so many yards afterwards, just like Jerry Rice does for the San Francisco 49ers. Also, he's built like a linebacker, so and pick up more yards that way as well.
Defensively, Howard University is going to have to find the rhythm, the key, in order to stop that high-powered offense. One of the reasons is Omar Evans. He's been injured. Let's see how healthy he is today. He leads a very young secondary.
Yeah, Omar has seen Nunley before. He defended him last year. This year, he knows he has to do a better job of stopping Nunley as soon as Nunley catches the ball so that he doesn't pick up extra yardage.
All right. Florida A&M has won the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Can Howard break that jinx today? We'll find out in just a moment. We'll be back with the opening kickoff and the starting lineups from Washington, D.C. in just a moment.
So I thought you'd appreciate a small...
For this telecast. It is the purpose of the MEAC to establish, organize, and supervise intercollegiate athletics within a compact group of institutions of high academic standards and light co-curricular programs. The MEAC institutions have vowed to cultivate and develop the highest athletic potential and insist upon the constant pursuit of excellence. On behalf of the entire MEAC family and our member institutions, we encourage you to continue to support them, their athletic programs, and our student athletes.
MEAC College Football Saturday is brought to you by Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service. The Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines. By National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. Charlie Neal and Joyce Jackson at Green Stadium on the campus of Howard University for this matchup between Howard University and the Rattlers of Florida A&M. Florida A&M on the ball that has elected to receive. It's an overcast game here in Washington, D.C. Then they want to breathe the winds alike to make for a great day for the quarterbacks. And, of course, the 23rd time that these two teams have met. Florida A&M has an 18-4 edge in the series. They've won 5. Howard University in their home all-blue
jerseys. They'll be kicking off if you look at it. From left to right. All the Rattlers of Florida A&M. And they're visiting all white jerseys. Charles Carr, Howard University. A junior from Atlanta, Southwest DeKalb High. He'll be kicking it off for Howard University. The man for Florida A&M is Fabian Turner. Averaging just about 17.2 yards per kickoff return. 23rd meeting between these two squads. About to get underway. We could do that a year ago down in Jacksonville between these two teams. They expect another one today. Fabian Turner about the 6-yard line. Turner takes it up to the left side. And he's down right across the 25 at about the 26-27. So Florida A&M will go to work. First down and 10. Let's check out the USPS starting lineups with Florida A&M, led by Salopi Nua, transfer from Palomar Junior College at the center. Offensive line averages 330 pounds, and Freddie Moore is a transfer from the University of Central Florida at the tackle spot. The rest of the offense led by Jawan Sider, who comes in from the University of West Virginia. We've already spoke of Jacque Nunley, 37 receptions. He has a good cast with him, and they work out of the shotgun. One first down and 10 at their own 27.
Yeah, Charlie, this is something really Joe wanted to do, right? From the beginning, is come out going, see if he can get that passing game going. And he knows he can come out going because of such a big offensive line. Howard can't really get that push up the middle of the tackle.
And we had the penalty flag on the first play as they ran the clock all the way down to the final second before the ball was snapped.
Let's see what this penalty is all about. Illegal procedure, and it's against Florida A&M. So it'll be first and 15 as the ball is moved back to the 22-yard line. Florida A&M is one of those teams that's averaging about 78 yards in penalties per contest. In the 5 games, they've been penalized 36 times this season. From the shotgun again, trying to pass over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for Cedric Mitchell. Was the intended receiver. It'll be second down and 15.
USPS Howard University defense. No linebacker, no field. He's a good one. The lead tackle on the team. Doug Miller, most experienced returning defensive lineman down there. That defensive line averages 270 pounds. We talked about Romeo in the middle of the linebacker spot. And the young secondary led by Omar Evans. On second down, a long pass looking
For Demetrius Bentros, and it is overthrown. Incomplete. Damian Moss giving good coverage downfield. And look at Sider, who was at the University of West Virginia. Don Malin wanted to move him over to a linebacker spot. He said, no, I don't think so. I want to play quarterback. And so he matriculated to Florida A&M. Joe's been happy with him so far. On third down and 15. Big third down play for the Rattlers of Florida A&M. From the shotgun again. Throwing the out pattern, and it's incomplete. On the sideline in front of the Florida A&M bench, Kanan Lamb was the intended receiver.
And Frazier was with him every step of the way, and that's why Sider tried to put it towards the sideline. Threw it just a tad bit. That's why he wasn't able to get to it. But you credit him.
A lot of times, a team will just do things to feel you out to see what kind of defense you're in the first series, rather than show you everything that they actually want to do, and they wanted to see exactly how Howard was going to play it. High snap, and just got away. We're going to get a penalty against Howard, so it's going to give Florida A&M good life.
I think we're going to get a roughing the pass kicker penalty on Trey Tribble.
And Damian Moss, they looked like they both ran into the kicker as he punted the ball. But you made a good point about FAMU trying to feel out Howard. What they wanted to do with Billy Joe, we talked about it, is that if you watch Howard, if they're backing up, expecting to pass, a couple of times there, Billy Joe is going to run the ball and see what he can get on the ground and not necessarily pass all the time.
So the drive stays alive on the penalty. They started at their own 27, were backed up to their own 22 on an illegal procedure penalty. And now on fourth down, they punt it away, but Howard guilty of roughing the kicker. They've averaged 86 yards in penalties, and they've picked up 35 penalties in the 4 contests they have played so far this year. So the ball moves all the way out to the 37-yard line after the 15-yard penalty, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Florida A&M. So they get new life and a fresh breath to keep this drive going. Ken Williams is the lone setback out of Baltimore's Lake Clifton High. He's number 33 in the backfield. The lone back there with Jawan Sider.
Remember what I said. Billy Joe said if they start backing off, he would try to run the ball. Let's see what they'll do here.
And they do give it to the big running back, Williams. And this is how big backs break tackles. He's 200. And he's averaging 4.7 yards per carry. And that run may have equaled it. This was 18, and that was a gain of 19.
And Noah, as we were talking about, he had a key block there, opening up that hole where he can run up the middle. The linebacker's already backing off, expecting pass, able to pick up the yardage.
So the 19-yard run, and they give it to the big fullback Williams again, and they come up and he gains about 7 or 8 more down into Howard University territory, right at the 36-yard line. Tracy White.
Right at that line of scrimmage, FAMU is just out muscling Howard right now and pushing their tackles off and opening up the hole, and that's what's making this run successful, because the backs are expecting pass. They keep looking for the pass. They're going to have to come up and crowd, and that's exactly when Billy Joe is going to pass.
2nd and 6, and it's complete to Kanan Lamb for the 1st down at the 31-yard line. So 1st down and 10 for the Rattlers of Florida A&M. This drive kept alive, remember, by the roughing the kicker penalty. So Mitchell and Lamb are to the near side. Jacque Nunley on the far side. From the shotgun, they work on 1st and 10. Back to pass. Sider, Kanan Lamb catches it and steps out of bounds for a 5-yard. Make it a 6-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, Sider is getting the time, and all Lamb is doing is going quick little out pattern to the sideline and working that. You don't have to get a bunch of yards on the pass. Just work your way down, and then you can punch it in with the run.
Their quarterbacks have only thrown 2 interceptions all year long, with the yards that they've gained, 1,606. That's almost an amazing stat.
Yeah, they get so much time, but right there,
they keep the ball on the ground again with Ken Williams. But like you said, they get time. They've been sacked 20 times, but they've only thrown 2 interceptions. When you throw that many passes, Sider has thrown 77 passes. The other young man, Quinn Gray, who started the season threw 98. You know, that's 200 passes almost between the two of them. And they've only thrown 2 interceptions.
You know, I think that's a combination of things right there. First of all, they respect Sider because he can run and he can scramble, so he has defenses guessing right there. But also, he doesn't always have to throw long. Right there he did for the touchdown.
Kanan Lamb with the touchdown, and it's 19 yards for Florida A&M. So Sider throws his 11th touchdown pass of the year. Kanan Lamb picks up his 7th touchdown reception.
Lamb getting all the time that he needs it. Sider getting all the time he needs to find Lamb, who got behind the defense. Sider with a great touch, and you got 6 points.
And the point after touchdown by Jeremy Edwards, who's 25 of 30 this year, makes it a 7-0 FAMU lead.
Travel provided by U.S. Airways.
At Green Stadium in Washington, D.C., Florida A&M has just drawn first blood with the 19-yard pass from Jawan Sider to Kanan Lamb. And they made it look easy. On a quick post pattern, Lamb wide open. And now Florida A&M will kick it off. It'll be Jeremy Edwards. And he'll be kicking to David Johnson, number 20 on one side. Also back there for Howard University is Tariq Rice, and it goes out of the end zone. It'll be a touchback So it'll be brought out to the 20, first down and 10. Florida A&M goes on defense. Howard gets the first crack at their offensive unit. Steve Wilson is their head coach in his 11th year, and they have an offensive line that averages 307 pounds. The USPS starting lineups for Howard University: Pumi Massimini and LeVar Young. They're the big guys up front, along with Rashad Parks, Vincent, and Hooper. Bobby Townsend gets the crack at quarterback this year, replacing Ted White, who was almost everything a year ago. Back to pass on first down. Throws, has it in and out of the hands of Elijah Thurman. He is their leading receiver. Let's look at Florida A&M's defense. The USPS starting lineups, led by defensive end Jerron Daly. Did not play a year ago, transferred in from Youngstown State. He's a good one. Terrence Woodard and Othello Vaughn. The other good ones up on that line that averages 271 pounds. The linebackers, as you see, Ashley, Johnson, Ray, and Fields. And in the secondary, Mitchell, Gray, and Vickers. On second down and 10. Quick drop, quick throw, incomplete, trying to get Leonard Stevens, his tight end, into the pattern, and he couldn't get his head around in time as Aaron Gray was covering defensively. Aaron Gray with a pair of interceptions so far this season for Florida A&M.
But also what made that play for Florida A&M's defense is the fact that they're getting that pressure on Bobby Townsend, and he's feeling it, so he's rushing his throws right now, and he's not hitting them on the mark. So they credit their pressure up front for that incompletion.
Let's look at that last Greyhound scoring drive by the Rattlers of Florida A&M. It was a 9-play, 2.5-minute drive. On third and 10, Townsend stands in there and takes off and runs. Has the first down and holds on to the football as he gets out across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Bobby Townsend on the run. Jerron Daly was the man on the stop.
Smart
out of Miami's Norland High.
Yeah, smart play by Townsend here, because you see as they're getting the pressure here, pushing him back. He sees that his line has them contained, so he can come right up here because the backs have dropped back a little bit, and he can gain enough yardage for the first down.
Picks up enough, and he keeps the ball on the ground this time. Not much going on for Donovan Burton, the running back, who tried to take it through the middle. And he was hit by Tyron Johnson out of Miami's Northwestern High, number 97. There he is. You see the stats on Tyron. Replaces Ulrich Johnson, filling some big shoes. No relation, who was a leading tackler on this Florida A&M team a year ago, who also had 8 sacks. So Corey Johnson and Tyron Johnson filling some big shoes down there. On second and 9. Townsend back to pass. Throws a fade. And a battle on the far sideline. No flags between the intended receiver. That's Elijah Thurman. Oh, there is a flag. There is a flag. I did not see the flag at first, but there is a flag. Vernon Mitchell was the man defending, and they were battling all the way down, Joyce. Yeah, let's take a look at that. See Bobby Townsend airing it out, seeing if he can get him. They got pass and interference, and right there you see he's falling all into the guy, so they're going to throw a flag on that every time. So that picks up a first down for Howard University by way of penalty this time in the first down department. Less than 15 yards is a spot foul at the point of the infraction, and it's a 1st and 10 for Howard. This is the 9th first down this season that the Bison have picked up by way of penalty. It is 1st and 10. The ball across midfield into Florida A&M territory. Townsend looking for some room. Fumbles the ball, and Florida A&M has it. And you can credit that to Tyron Johnson. Just muscled his way around the end and kept pursuing Townsend and popped him right in the back and knocked the ball loose. And let's see who came up with the football. Out of the bottom of that pile comes number 56, Othello Vaughn. And Othello Vaughn, who's had a sack to his credit this year, comes up with a big fumble recovery, and Howard University turns the ball over at an inopportune time right at the 43-yard line of Florida A&M.
Yeah, Marcus Ogner just outmanned by Tyrone Johnson, who was able to come around and get the pressure on Bobby Townsend and knock the ball loose.
This comes with 10:59 left in the first quarter. And it's Florida A&M first down and 10. And here's Sider. He's going to keep it on the quarterback keeper. He's a big kid, and he's running for first down, and he's all the way down to the 25, 23, 24-yard line.
That's what a scrambling quarterback does for you. It keeps the defense on backing up, keeping them on their heels. And instead of passing it off, he decides to keep it, has the hole, even jumps over one tackle right there, and picks up the first down. He just won't go down, Charles.
They mark it just inside the 25 where it is first down and 10. Ken Williams, the lone setback again. We've seen him run a couple of times so far this afternoon. Mitchell and Lamb to the left side. Plenty of time. Intercepted almost. Omar Evans made a great leap on the ball. Had good vision on it. Just couldn't hold on. Omar had 2 against Texas Southern. And actually there were 2 defenders, Damian Moss and Omar, back there. You can't fault them for being aggressive.
No, you cannot fault them for being aggressive, and they have to be aggressive. As you watch Sider, he's looking at his eyes. Omar Evans watched them the whole time. Goes up, makes the leaping tip at the ball. Almost came down with the interception.
Second down, 10. And here's a handoff to Walker. He breaks 2 tackles, still on his feet. And he's running over people, and he gets a first down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. He broke 2 good tackles by Doug Miller on that right side. Was the first man to hit him. Let's see who else missed him. Let's look at it.
Looked like Charles Woodall got to him first, almost had him. He broke that tackle, then just out-muscles this tackle right there, goes through his, right in the back of his man there. That's just pure muscle for the first down.
It certainly is. Finally, Roan Hill was able to stop the runaway train in his first down and 10 for the Rattlers of Florida A&M.
There you go. Oh, man.
And a sack. Almost. Close. Let me tell you, they almost let him get away.
Those FAMU jerseys must be slippery. That's another missed tackle by Howard University. I mean, a sure sack right there by Miller. Just couldn't hold on to him.
Obi Ara.
Yeah, they have allowed 20 sacks so far this season for the Rattlers, and Howard has had an attempt at one right there and just could not get it.
That's the 15th sack for Howard University. Coming into the game, they had 14. And a quarterback keeper again, wide open spaces, and he gets down close to the 5-yard line. Sider down close to the 5. It'll be third down, third and about 2. He can get to the 3 for first down.
All he has to do is run behind his blocks. There's another 53 gets to him and able to pull him down. All he has to do is just run right up the middle because the linebackers keep dropping off expecting pass.
Smith hit by Roan Hill, and Roan Hill has come to play. He's one of those kids who's like a 99 version of Dick Butkus or Willie Lanier. They say he has an odor about him when he plays. That is, you can smell his presence on the field.
Oh, you can. I think we can smell it up here. Good for him.
And on the quarterback, second effort puts him into the end zone. Sider. So Sider takes it in from short yardage. Let's watch it once again from about the 3-yard line. Just second effort.
Just second effort, and Howard is doing a lot of arm tackling, and that's not going to get it done, and that is not going to stop the Rattlers.
That is his 4th rushing touchdown this year. Jeremy Edwards splits the uprights and is 14-0. And you see why Florida A&M is such a high-powered offense. They've scored 51 points in the first quarter this year in the 5 games they played. And we'll be back. the MEAC versus the SWAC in the Heritage Bowl down in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Comes your way this season, December 18th. That's Saturday. For more information, just call toll-free 1-888-437-7306. Florida A&M with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 9-yard line, leading 14-0. We're in the first quarter. Under 3 minutes to go. Sider hands off to Williams, and not much running room for Ken Williams this time, as the defense of Howard University was right there. He may have gotten the yard on the play, and that was about it, as Obiara was the first man in there to meet him, number 91. Call it 2nd and 9. Luther Palmer, new defensive coordinator for Howard University this year, brings a lot of enthusiasm to that defensive unit. Ray Petty, who was here the last couple of years, has gone on to Norfolk State. He with Mo Forte down there. 1 second down, 9, and the pass is complete. Is that a fumble? Yes. They're calling it a catch, and they're calling it a fumble. And Howard University gets a break. The catch was made by Cedric Mitchell, but there was a hit on the far side by Alton Perkins out of Oxon Hills Fork Union High, and Howard gets a break.
Did you see right there, number 32, Long coming in, disrupting the rhythm, but he made the catch. Number 24, heads up play, knocks it loose. Perkins knocks it loose, and that is a fumble because he had possession.
Hey, Blue!
At the 7-yard line. Howard University with the ball. And here's the leading scorer in the MEAC running the ball. That is Jermaine Hutchinson. He gets close. But there's a flag down. Do we see holding? That's normally in the vicinity. Yes, it is. Against Howard University. So a golden opportunity here for Howard University. They had the ball. So it'll be 1st down and goal. The ball is moved all the way back out to the 15-yard line. Let's watch it once again. Jermaine Hutchinson.
See if we can pick up the holding. Just threw him down right there in your picture, and there comes the penalty flag.
These are the things that can kill you. Penalties at an opportune time. Again, Jermaine Hutchinson missed. Touchdown, Howard University. From 15 yards out, his 9th rushing touchdown this year.
Jermaine just made people miss on that run. He made the nice cut back inside, then went upfield and made Grover Fields just miss him. The linebacker who came up to plug the hole, and he's in for the score.
With 1:36 left, first quarter.
You got to credit Jermaine's running on this. He makes the nice cut right there so Johnson can't get to him, and then he makes Grover Fields miss, and he's in for the touchdown.
So it led to each turnover by either team has led to a touchdown by the opposition. Charles Carr, the one for the point after touchdown, the left-footed kicker, splits the uprights, and it's 14-7, Howard University. It gets on the scoreboard. Let's take a couple of more looks at that touchdown run by Jermaine Hutchinson, the junior from Hawthorne, Florida.
You see right here, gets the handoff right there. Johnson had him but couldn't bring him down. He makes a cut inside, and then Grover Fields knew he couldn't get him because he was out of position. Right here, Grover trying. Oh, nice block there on Howard's part to get Grover out of position and clear the way for Jermaine to get in.
Jermaine very quick. 4th leading rusher in the conference. Strong runner. Had 4 touchdowns a year ago on 361 yards, but has come on very, very strong this season. He's 6th in the nation in 1AA in scoring. He has 9 touchdowns to his credit. And I mentioned that he had a couple of cousins who's helped come up to Howard University from Florida with him. Mike Harris, a good running back, and of course Brian McDonald, The young man is doing a great job on the defensive side of the ball, who has 3 interceptions to his credit this year from his free safety spot.
You know, and Howard, you keep the ball in Jermaine's hand. What they do is that they keep the ball out of FAMU's offense hand, and they don't allow them to get that rhythm going with the high-powered offense, and they can keep this game close.
And that's important. So we've got a penalty flag down. Maybe we have somebody offside. Illegal procedure on Howard. Maybe a 5-yard penalty. Somebody got across the line of scrimmage a little bit too soon. We'll wait and see. Dan Evans is our referee today. Howard University, again, their last outing, they had a week off, so I don't know if that'll help them. At least it helped them get well if they had any injuries. Let's listen to Dan Evans. No flag. They waved the flag off.
Yeah, Howard had an extra week to rest up. Any nicks and bruises in 2 weeks to study FAMU, so they know what they have to do against them.
Florida A&M is off next week. And then we'll see them in 2 weeks down in Hampton when they play the Pirates of Hampton University. So they'll need that week off between Howard and Hampton. While Howard University plays Towson State a week from Saturday right here at Green Stadium.
Yeah, another big game coming up for FAMU playing Hampton. Hampton atop the MEAC. If FAMU wants to walk away with that MEAC title, they not only have to beat Howard, they definitely have to beat Hampton.
Again, Charles Card will attempt this kickoff. Fabian Turner picks it up. Spins out of one tackle. There he goes down the sideline. Trying to get away from the
Howard has to do a better job. Yeah, Howard has to do a better job of their tackling. They're not holding on to the man as they hit him. It's a lot of arm tackling, so it's easy for FAMU to break the tackles and pick up extra yardage. This could have turned out to be a very big play for Turner here. He spins out of that one tackle, and right here almost got away from number 9 here, Jonathan Brewer, but right. Jonathan able to grab him by the ankles and drag him down.
So from their own 38-yard line, Florida A&M with their 4th possession of the day, leading 14-7. 1st and 10 from the shotgun. They've been working from this formation all afternoon. Now we get a flag. Let's see if somebody jumped prematurely. It's on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. See Doug Miller and Jawan Sider.
Doug just trying to tell Sider that he's going to see him a lot today.
Right, having a little conversation. So illegal procedure is a penalty call, and it's against FAMU, and it's still 1st down, but a 5-yard penalty will move them 5 yards further back, and it'll be 1st and 15. From the shotgun, looking out, incomplete. Jockway Nunley, the intended receiver. Omar Evans covering him. Omar has had his hands full this season. He covers the other team's best receivers each and every week. A couple of weeks ago was Jameson, who may be the best player in college football. You know, the only problem is he's playing at Texas Southern, so he doesn't get the ink that, let's say, a kid at Florida, Florida State, or Michigan would get. But he covered him pretty well. They had a great time against each other, and it's a friendly camaraderie. And he says what makes him better is he covers Elijah Thurman in practice every day.
Yeah, and he has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders this year. He is leading such a good secondary, so he has to cover the best receiver on everyone else's team in order to give the rest of the secondary a chance to make plays as well.
And we have another penalty after the completion to Cedric Mitchell in front of the FAMU bench, but this looks like, again, it's going to go holding against Florida A&M.
FAMU looking a little out of sync right now.
Looking at, you saw a shot of Omar Evans there. They're explaining the options to the defense. Dan Evans is. So the penalty on holding. Florida A&M started the season, Joyce, with a loss to 12th ranked Miami. Miami was ranked 12th at the time, 57-3. They lost 4 fumbles in that game, and Quinn Gray, who's the backup quarterback now, who started in that game, got injured in the first quarter. We'll recap the rest of the season in a moment. Kanan Lamb, the intended receiver, and incomplete off of his fingertips. Rashad Frazier, a freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina, covering. He was a high school all-conference national player and a national achievement scholar.
One reason,
Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlie, one reason FAMU's a little out of sync here is because Howard is coming up and crowding the box, showing blitz, but then the linebackers, they drop off and the DBs drop off and pick up their men. So Sider is a little bit out of sync with seeing these different defenses thrown at him.
Third down, he's in trouble. He gets out of there again. He has escapability, gets a block downfield, and he will be shy of the first down, but he picks up good yardage all the way out to the 43, 44-yard line, but it'll bring up a 4th down punting situation.
Yeah, Miller was able to get into the backfield, and it turned into a big game because he was able to get into the backfield, put some pressure on Sider, but he wasn't able to make the tackle. Right there, he gets around number 77, got the pressure on him, but didn't bring him down. They got to do a better job of tackling. That almost turned into a 1st down, but thank goodness they were able to make the play and keep him short.
T.J. Smith is the man who is going to punt for Florida A&M. T.J. averaging 37 yards per punt. Gets off a high one. Trey Tribble chasing it down. And there's no penalty.
Yeah, there
should be a penalty on that one. You've got to give the man 2 yards in order to get the ball. There's got to be a penalty on this one.
Yeah, Tribble making the catch, but number 29 didn't give him enough room to make the reception. Brooks, not a smart play, so the penalty has to come there. You got to give him enough room to at least catch the ball.
Andre Brooks guilty of the infraction, and that'll add some more yards for Howard University, which doesn't help the punting average of T.J. Smith.
You know, this is still a 7-point ball game. You think Howard would go back to that running game and just keep running Jermaine Hutchinson.
We apologize for some of the technical difficulties we're having with the officials' microphone and calling the infractions that are taking place down on the field, but we do know it's interference against Florida A&M, and it'll give Howard University better field position out across the 30 to about the, well, no, not out across the 30. They mark it at the, well, let's see what they're doing. They're still moving the ball. They'll get it settled in a minute. Out to the 34-yard line. 1st down and 10 from the 34-yard line. It'll be Howard University with their 4th possession of the afternoon, with 2 seconds left here in the first quarter. Last play of the first quarter. David Johnson, 1st down across the 45 to about the 46, 47-yard line. So at the end of the first quarter, Howard University starting to make its move. They trail it by 7, but they have the ball and they're on the move right now. We'll be back. It's a 14-7 FAMU lead.
Rose of Wrestling, live from Casino Magic, Sunday, October 10th, only on pay-per-view.
14-7 is our score here in Washington, D.C. Florida A&M leading Howard. Howard with the ball. I'm Charlie Neal along with Joyce Jackson. And it's 1st and 10 Howard at their own 46-yard line.
Howard did so well running the ball. You would think that they would go back to that and just keep running the ball and see what Jermaine could do.
And they give it to Jermaine Hutchinson. The long handoff. He gains a yard or 2. And not much on there. Jerron Daly was one of the men on the stop defensively. Number 1 there. 2nd down, a gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Howard started the season with a loss to Jackson State, 35-21. They were down 21 at halftime. Got 21 points in the 3rd quarter to make it close. They lost to Hampton 28-27. They had a couple of PATs blocked. They beat Bethune. They rallied in that game. Were down 17 points. Johnson threw 4 touchdown passes, 3 in the fourth quarter. Here's David Johnson trying to turn the corner. Good stiff arm. Close to another first down across midfield and into Florida A&M territory to the 45-44 yard line, and very close for a first down. It'll bring up a third down and short, or either a first down, depends on how they spot it.
Yeah, they give the ball to number 20, but look at the block by number 43, Donovan Burton. That helped number 20 pick up more yards than Johnson when he's able to make the turn around the corner. 3rd and inches. It was a gain of 7 on that last run by David Johnson. Johnson is in there behind Donovan Burton. Burton out of Lake City, Florida, from Columbus High. He's the up back in the eye. They give it to David Johnson. He loses yards, and who was there to meet him but Jerron Daly? He was the first one along with Torrey Warren. Boy, they were coming. They were coming quick, and they were coming hard. Number 73, LeVar Young, didn't pick up number 1, and he was able to come in there, and they came hard, and they came fast. It's almost as if they knew what the play was going to be, and Daly in there making a stop.
So to bring up a 4th down punting situation, as you look at Jerron Daly, we talked about him a couple times. We've been calling his name all game long. Young man who transferred from Youngstown State, did not play a year ago because of the transfer sit-out rule. And that quick pass rusher came into the game with 3 sacks today. 3 sacks. It's 4th down, though, for Howard University. Now we're going to get a penalty. False start against Howard University. Maybe they were trying to make Florida A&M jump off sides, and they committed an infraction. So the ball's moved all the way back, and that'll bring on the punter, Jason Walker, the leading punter in the conference. He's tied, actually, to Joey Spear from Bethune-Cookman. High snap, but he gets it down. And it is down by Howard University. That was Lee Taggart, number 40, who downed it right at about the 16-yard line. So that's where Florida A&M will go to work. First down and 10 at their own 16. Florida A&M started the season, as I mentioned earlier, with a loss to 12th-ranked Miami. University of Miami. They beat Norfolk State 56-7. Gray got healthy, threw 4 touchdown passes as FAMU put up 554 yards, held Norfolk State to 176. They lost to Tennessee State. Tennessee State got their number in that particular game, and it is 1st and 10 right now. And they give it off to Kenny Williams. Kenny Williams running with reckless abandon. And Chris Boston was the man to make the stop for Howard University out of Burtonsville, Maryland, and Pink Branch High.
FAMU going with that hurry-up offense. They want to try to get this defense off balance and get their rhythm back.
And that's how you do it. 2nd down and 6. Incomplete. A little too big even for the intended receiver, Cedric Mitchell, who at 6 feet would have had to have a step ladder to get that one.
Oh, yeah, and Sider got lucky because if that ball was a little bit lower, Damian Moss was right there ready to pick it off.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 6. As you look at the rushing leaders. Now let's see if they were drawn off for Howard University. Jumped prematurely. So it's against Florida A&M. So instead of 3rd and 6, it'll be 3rd and 11. They also, that is, Florida A&M beat South Carolina State. Sider got his first start, threw for 286 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then they beat Morgan 66-10. They led 56-0 at halftime in that game. They had 663 offensive yards. Sider throws it long. Bendros is out there. First down, Florida A&M. Demetrius Bendros out of Miami. Carl Gables High had beaten everybody. Brian McDonald couldn't get to it.
McDonald was trying to get to him, but he hadn't beaten anybody.
Vendros is one of those kids that runs a 4.2, 4.3 40. $54-yard gain on the play for Demetrius Vendros. That's his longest of the season. The previous was 45.
I know.
First and 10, Florida A&M. They were buried. Dropped the ball, but they covered pretty good. Sider was able to fall on it.
Yeah, mishandled the snap, but able to fall on it and not cause the turnover.
So Demetrius Vendros, who came into the game with only 8 catches.
It went right into his hands. I thought it was the snap, but it wasn't the snap. Went right into his hands, and he just lost it, but able to cover it up.
He wasn't able to just bring it in the way he should have. That's only the 9th reception of the year for Vendros. Incomplete. Jocko Nunley, who has been held without a catch today by Omar Evans.
Yeah, Omar has been blanking him, but if it hits his fingertips, Nunley has to bring that ball in. This is the type of receiver he is, and this is what FAMU expects from him. If the ball is anywhere close to him, he needs to make a play.
Third down again in long yardage, third and about 14. Let's see if Howard can hold this time. They let him off the hook the last time with the 54-yard pass to Demetrius Vendros. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Jockway Nunley incomplete. Over the wrong shoulder. He just couldn't get turned around to find the ball. And Omar Evans again down there covering.
That's what I was going to say. You credit Omar Evans because he made him turn the opposite way. Wouldn't allow him to turn into the ball over the wrong shoulder.
So to bring up a 4th down. And they're going to bring in their field goal kicking unit. This will be a 50-yard field goal attempt for Jeremy Edwards. His longest this year is 35. He's had 1 block. Left-footed kicker gets it up. Is it long enough? No good. Just short.
Just short. Probably about 2 yards short on that.
Wasn't much. He didn't miss by much, I'll tell you that. We'll be back. 14-7. Howard will get the ball with 10:43 left in the second quarter.
Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Walt Disney World Resort. Let's go.
Accommodations, compliments of the Washington Plaza Hotel, which features 340 modern decor rooms and is ideally located for business and leisure. Convenient to the Capitol, historic Georgetown, and many attractions and government office buildings. The Washington Plaza Hotel, 10 Thomas Circle. For reservations, 1-800-424-1140. First and 10, Howard University. Bobby Townsend with plenty of room, and he continues to run, cuts it back in, and gets a first down, a gain of 14 yards for Bobby Townsend out to the 47, 48-yard line. First and 10 for Howard University. And you see Bobby Townsend cutting it back and realizing he was running out of room there. Just dropped down as Grover Fields was coming in to make the stop. First and 10 from the 48. Their own 48. Jermaine Hutchinson, not much running room for him there as Corey Johnson out of Killian High was right there to make the stop.
Wasn't allowing anything to get through there. Corey Johnson just came up and plugged up the hole. Not going to let Jermaine pick up anything there.
Loss of 1, second down, 11. We're in the second quarter. 9:50 to go. In case you joined Slate, Howard University found themselves down 7-0 on Sider. 19-yard pass to Canaan Lamb. And Sider's 4-yard run made it 14-0. Howard scored on Hutchinson's 15-yard run. That's the way we stand. That all occurred in the first quarter. A little too big for the intended receiver, Javante Philpott. who was a defensive back who's been converted to the offensive side of the ball, who's got great speed, but just overthrew him a little bit.
Yeah, Townsend just overthrew him because Philpott had his man beat, and if he would have just put it right inside there, that would have been a big game for Howard. But Townsend might have been 6 because he had him beat.
They've been alternating the tight ends between Leonard Stevens and Gary Grant. Both seniors, both have done a great job, and both good blockers, excellent blockers. 3rd down and 11 for Howard University. From the shotgun, Townsend stands in there, looking in trouble, evades someone, and this throws it away.
Yes, he was under a whole lot of pressure there. In a smart play, he was able to break the 1 tackle, knew he had no options, throw it away instead of having the big loss.
A lot of pressure coming from the defense. Tony Cola was one of the men who got away from.
Yeah, he got away from Cola on one of the plays. Cola coming in with
Surtain also.
Surtain coming in with a lot of pressure. And also, you can't forget about number 1, Jerron Daly. He was coming in on the blind side, also providing pressure over there. So they were collapsing the pocket. Townsend got away from the tackle and was able to try to get it away. But FAMU has an injury right now on the field.
Tony Cola out of Pensacola, Florida's Wyndham High, who's a junior. He's the man that's a little slow down there. Florida A&M, their last outing, got 663 yards, 416 of it coming in the air against Oregon State. When they win by points like 56, 76, and 66. 6s seem to be in their future somehow. They shouldn't roll 7s. They need to roll 6s. They're averaging 66 points a game in the 3 games they've won.
So a 6 is going to be in the score some kind of way, is what you're saying.
If they win.
Oh, if they win. Okay.
So you got to keep the 6s out of the score if you're the opposition. 4th punt today. Blocked. And picked up.
That block, you give that to Aaron Gray. He came in and jumped up and got his hand up and was able to knock the ball down.
And Sheriff Ray was the man who came up with the fumble recovery, or the recovery of the block punt. Let's look at it once again.
Yeah, you take another look at it, and at the top of your screen, number 2, Aaron gets up, jumps up over the pile, gets his hands up, and knocks the ball down.
These are the types of things that puts the defense under a lot of pressure from Howard University. Yeah, they're starting at the 25-yard line of Howard, so not far do they have to go to get into the end zone.
And you don't have a lot of room to work with there, and they can do a lot of cutting and moves.
Sider, Nunley, almost intercepted. Intended for Jacque Nunley. Damian Moss had his hands on it, but just couldn't pull it in.
Sider's been getting lucky all day long. A lot of his passes are sailing on him, and he's not hitting his men in the numbers. So there's a lot of opportunity for Howard to pick the ball off. Right there, it's tipped up. Almost an interception, but he just couldn't pull it in. Damian couldn't pull it in.
That's a tip drill they work on in practice, too. So Damian Moss came close. 2nd down 10. Ken Williams, the running back. Not much running room for him as Obiara was there to hit him from the top. Also at the bottom of the pile for Howard University.
Vontre Long came in and plugged up the hole quickly. He read that play the entire way, came up, saw that they were going to give him the ball, plugged the hole up on Williams. 3rd down and 9.
At the 24-yard line, ball just resting inside the 25. And it's open in the middle. Let's see, they're throwing the fade out in the corner. Incomplete, out of the end zone. Intended for Jacque Nunley, him and Omar Evans. Of course, Omar made him have to go further than he wanted to. He had some room, though. That might have been 6, but he had the end zone line working against him.
Yeah, Omar was with him step for step, and even though he had a half a step on him, he made Nunley have to run out of the end zone, and he had made him run out of room, basically, is what he did. So he can only catch it out of bounds.
I think they're going to try it on 4th down. They're 4 for 7 in 4th down conversions this year, Florida A&M. That's a 57% ratio. While Howard University has allowed 4 of 9 fourth down conversions against them this year, which is 33%. But apparently Billy Joe, who does not work down on the sideline, does all his coaching, the head coach, from up in the press box. He says he can see better by sitting up in the press box and overseeing everything. And in fact, they're not going to go for it. They're going to try a field goal this time. Remember, he just missed on a 50-yarder just moments ago. That's Jeremy Edwards. This one will be a 42-yarder. The kick is up. It's long enough. It is good. No good.
Just wide.
Just wide. It looked like it was good for a moment. It had the distance, but he misses it. 42-yard field goal. So Howard dodges the bullet after the block punt with 8:19 to go. Second quarter rather, and it's 14-7 FAMU.
Let's go.
On the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C., Charlie Neal along with Joyce Jackson. It's 4th down and short. They bring in the beef. They bring in Marcus Rogers, the freshman. And they give it to Jermaine Hutchinson, and I don't think he got it.
I don't think he got it either.
I don't think he got it. That left side of that defensive line for Florida A&M collapsed.
Yeah, and Corey Johnson came up and plugged the hole. So I think he's just short of it.
It looked like the ball was right where it was before. The referee is going to measure, but I don't think that really they need this measurement, because I don't believe they made it.
It might be short by a couple of inches because of the spot. Looks like a generous spot for Howard.
Yeah, but they had to get to the 46-yard line. The ball is at the 47. Just look at it right there.
Let's see. FAMU saying no way, no way. Now.
No, not even close. So they are turned back on downs. A little disappointed. Coach Steve Wilson, of course, on 4th downs, they were 3 of 12 this year. 25%. Florida A&M on 4th downs had only allowed 3 of 8 attempts. So Florida A&M takes over with 4:35 to go in the half at their own 42-yard line. First and 10. Sider to Ken Williams. Ken Williams misdirection. Cuts back. Almost runs over Rashad Frazier, but Frazier did a good job at 185 pounds, giving up 60 pounds to Ken Williams by putting him down.
Taking one for the team. He was on his wide receiver there, and he did a good job of looking back, seeing that the runner was, and picking him up and stopping him.
But he gets the first down out to the 45 of Howard University. Out of the shotgun again. Sider working. And they run that effectively with Ken Williams. From the shotgun. They tried a little screen play to Williams, but the defense of Brian McDonald got his hands up coming in with the safety blitz, and he knocked the ball away.
One thing Steve Wilson said about Brian McDonald is the fact that he always knows where the ball is. He is a ball hawk, so he zeroes in, got in on the play, got the hands up, and knocked it down.
It is 2nd and 10. 4:06 to go. First half. 7-point ball game. Option. Ken Williams wide open. First down. Run down from behind. But not before the first down. Tracy White on the stop. But a first down on the option play. So Billy Joe pulling out all the stops today.
Yeah, Sider did a great job of pulling the defense of Walter and Askew, and then just throwing the ball at the last second. That opened up a lot of room. A gain of 14 for Williams.
I'll tell you, it's a good thing that White was somewhere in the vicinity, because he had a lot of daylight ahead of him. White ran him down from behind, ran Williams down. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line of Howard. FAMU with the ball. Quarterback keeper again. Sider breaks a tackle. Close to another first down before he stood up, and he breaks tackles and still gets the first down and gets out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Second effort for that young man. You see why Don Nalen wanted him to play linebacker at West Virginia?
He just runs over people. He's so big and strong. But Howard is just missing too many tackles. Once again, they had Sider stopped early, broke the tackle, another arm tackle, able to gain yardage.
One of the things that I know the defense was working on, as you look at the stats on Jawan Sider, was run to the ball, especially because the receivers do such a great job of running after they catch the ball. So they're making sure they're somewhere near the ball. And here again, Ken Williams, they're trying to eat up this clock, and that's what they're doing with this ground gain on this particular drive. They got the ball in good field position, and they're running the clock down. Here it is, 2nd and 7 with 3:15 to go in the first half.
But not only does it run the clock down, but it keeps that defense guessing, because for a while there, they would just pass. So the defense was showing blitz, dropping off, picking up the receivers, not much happening, but mixing it up like this, they're moving the ball pretty well.
2nd down and 8. From the shotgun, Sider under pressure. He is sacked. First sack for Howard today. And that's the second actually sack for them today, the 22nd of the year. And Obi Ara was the man who Arab came in out of Columbia, Maryland, and sacked the quarterback Sider.
Yeah, he was able to get in there untouched, and this time he held on to Sider because Sider able to break a lot of tackles and was able to pull him down.
He came into the game, Arab, with 3 sacks. Add another one to his stats. 3rd down. Pressure. Steps away, still on his feet, and throws into the middle, and it's caught by Kanan Lamb, and he's down for 1st and goal at the 5.
Oh my goodness, Rashad Jackson had Sider in his grips. He was able to break that play and still have enough presence to find the open man and just get it to Lamb down at the 5-yard line. Right here, Sider looking. He got the pressure coming in on him right there. Number 46. Rashad Jackson couldn't make the tackle, but Sider presence of mind to get the ball up and get it to number 4, Lamb, right there on the 5-yard line, so FAMU's still alive here.
You have to take a man's feet from him, especially when he's that strong in the upper body. That's what they've not been able to do with Sider today. Here's Ken Williams trying to get to the goal line. He's down to the 1. So Vontre Long prevents the touchdown. And it'll be 2nd down and goal. Let's look at it again.
Vontre coming in, just held on. That's all he could do, is just hold on and keep him out of the end zone.
Got some help from Roan Hill. The quarterback decides to keep it himself. No signal from the official. He does not get in.
Look,
fumble!
Knocked loose.
And Howard gets it.
Howard got
Look
it.
who came out of there with it. It was Brian McDonald.
I think it was a hit by Vontre Long to knock it loose down there.
And Brian McDonald comes out with it at the 1.
Let's see it. It's on the quarterback keeper. Sider going in. Brian McDonald, he's hit by Vontre Long, knocks it loose, and McDonald gets it and takes it out of there. Great defensive stop by Howard.
So Howard University again makes a very great opportunistic defensive play with their backs against the wall. They have the ball at their own 1. I think they will just try to run the clock out and get out of this first half.
That's all they can do right now. And Billy Joe, before the game for FAMU, said he was concerned about turnovers.
Well, now Florida A&M will probably call timeout. Let's see. If they're smart, that's what they would do, and they do. 55 seconds of time remaining in the first half. 14-7 is our ball game. FAMU by a touchdown.
The Heat visit the Magic for a preseason warm-up Friday at 7:30 on Sunshine.
Charlie Neal, Joyce Jackson, Ronnie Duncan will be here in the second half. Believe it or not, he found an airplane that could get him in from Cleveland. You know what happens when you're from Cleveland? You know they call that the mistake by the lake. On 2nd down. And again, Florida A&M will use another timeout. with 50 seconds. They only used 5 seconds off the clock that time. So they're hoping to get the ball back. One of the things they got to be thinking in the back of their minds is we blocked the punt already today. If we can hold them here on 3rd down, call a timeout, force them to punt the football, maybe we have a chance to block it and let something happen before halftime or get something going as far as points are concerned.
Yeah, Aaron Gray was able to get in there and block the punt, so they want to try to do that again. But even if they get the ball back, they can go to that high-powered offense and try to go long and get some points that way if they can get it back.
And, of course, the Florida A&M contingent from Tallahassee here, a strong alumni group here in the Washington, D.C. area. They're going to honor Billy Joe tonight here in Washington, D.C. They've got the Florida Highway Patrol here. They got everybody.
They have a great fan base. A lot of people travel up to see the games, travel and follow the team.
So Bobby Townsend has his instructions from Steve Wilson. You know, this would be a great time, although you don't want to do it, but this might be a great time to throw a little pass.
Look for Elijah Thurman.
They're looking for the run, and, you know, you might be able to hit somebody on a quick post, especially on that left side. He is going to throw it.
There's Elijah on Vickers.
Incomplete. Elijah looks like he stopped running.
He did. He stopped running on that. He didn't keep his stride. If he'd have kept running, he would have been hit right in the numbers and would have been able to beat Vickers. He has about a foot over Vickers. Would have been a big play for Howard.
So from their own 3, they're going to have to punt it away. Remember, the last time they punted the ball, it was blocked. So Jason Walker standing at the end line. If he steps out, it's a safety.
Yeah, watch number 2, Aaron Gray. He blocked the last punt.
They've got everybody up. High snaps. He gets it out of there somehow, some way.
But he was pressured by
a return by Vernon Mitchell. And Vernon Mitchell brings it out to about the 38-yard line.
But the pressure that Aaron Gray got on the punter was a lot better. Would have been better to have a block, but it was just as good. You got the pressure on that. But now FAMU with Gray field position and with the armor Sider, this is one pass away from being a touchdown.
You're correct. But now do you go to your prevent defense, or do you do what you've been doing all along? A lot of times the prevent defense, all it does is prevent you from winning. You couldn't go if you put it in the wrong time.
Yeah, but you don't want to go in there halftime down 14 points. It's better to go in there 14-7. So you can't give up the big play now.
Nobody behind the quarterback. Sider throws in the middle, incomplete. Jacquay Nunley, the intended receiver, also had 2 minutes. It looks a little bit like maybe the receivers, somebody ran the wrong route, because you took Kanan Lamb and Jacquay Nunley were both in the same vicinity.
That's what happened there. Someone didn't make their final cut because you had 2 receivers jammed in the same spot.
2nd down, 10, 29 seconds left in the half. At the 38, FAMU with the ball, trying to get 6 before halftime. First catch of the day by Jacquay Nunley. Run after catch is what he does so well. And look at him. This is why they would have to have him and your defense go to the ball, and they call another timeout with 15 seconds to go.
That's what he's known for. He makes the catch, picks up so many yards afterwards, and you see him using his strength there. After he catches the ball, he's able to break tackles and keep moving, keep trying to make something happen.
Omar Evans couldn't get him. Lamont Darden finally brought him down after he reversed his peel, and he still is on his feet. So it's 3rd down and 2, but more importantly, only 15 seconds to go. As you look at Jacquay Nunley's numbers going into today's game, 37 receptions. And that was the first reception for him today. He came in averaging 10.6 yards per catch. He was averaging 70 yards a game, and he's 5th in the nation in receptions per game, 7.4. Like I said, only 1 reception so far this afternoon. A good job by Omar Evans. So he still don't have anything to be ashamed about, even though he made it an exciting catch. You know, they still have done a good job on it today.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about what Omar Evans has been able to do against Nunley today. Just been all over him, not allowing him to get position, running, cutting down the field on him, either pushing him out of bounds where he has to run all the way out of bounds. He just does not have the ability to make the catch because Omar is there making him change his direction and change the play.
Jockway Nunley led the nation in receiving a year ago with 98 receptions, so 93 receptions and 12 touchdowns. Of course, there was Pat Bonner, who was the quarterback, a young man who also transferred into Florida A&M from Temple University. So these transfers from the big schools have been a good find for Billy Joe in the offensive scheme of things. 3rd down and 2. Sider stands in there. Plenty of time. Pressure from behind. Tries to throw it up in the air. And there, let's see what they call a penalty. Let's see what the penalty is. Maybe there was a lineman downfield, and that's got to be what happened, because once he takes off running, the linemen start to go downfield.
Yeah, because they want to protect him, but he may have taken off too much here, and they have a lineman downfield and out of position when he tries to make the pass. He tried to flip it up to Nunley, a very dangerous pass, because right there, if Howard makes the play, Chad Scott tips that. There's no one back there. Yeah, there's nobody back there to stop it.
We have an illegal forward pass. The quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw it forward. Got a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
And the loss of down should be. So he still has another opportunity. Oh, they're saying it's still 3rd down. I might have declined that penalty.
I think so. Let's get to 4th down. Don't give them a chance to put points on the board.
I think that should be a loss of down. Well, let's see what the discussion is. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're looking at the time on the clock. The officials are having a discussion. Dan Evans and his crew. Howard University found themselves down 14-0 with 12:31 left in the first quarter. They say they do not lose a down. Illegal forward pass. Apparently they did not lose a down. That's what Steve Wilson is
arguing.
Yeah, but again, it doesn't matter. It's a 52-yard field goal with 4 seconds to go.
He was only a couple of yards short on the 50-yarder.
This one, no good. So as the first half comes to an end, what an exciting first half we've had here. Not a lot of points, but a lot of excitement here at Green Stadium in Washington, D.C. 14-7 is our score. Florida A&M by 7. 7 is our halftime score. The Rattlers of Florida A&M leading the Bison of Howard University. Hello again, everyone. I'm Charlie Neal, and glad you're with us here for an exciting MEAC College Football Saturday contest. Florida A&M against Howard University. Florida A&M was ahead in this contest, 14-0. Howard came back to make it a 14-7 game, and that's the way we stand at halftime. You know, both of these fine institutions are known not only for their athletic prowess, but their academic ability. Howard University for a long time has been known as an academicians type school, and they have a new project going on, the Marlin Spingarn Center.
The Spingarn Research Center is one of the world's largest and most comprehensive repositories which documents black history and culture. It is the largest such repository at any university in the world. One of the special things about Marlin Spingarn is the nature of its comprehensiveness. It is an extremely large library. That's one of the things that has been known for throughout its history. It's also one of the major manuscript repositories in the country, as well as one of the foremost centers of photographic documentation of the black experience, as well as archival materials and collections of records and personal papers of individuals and organizations. All of these things together collectively make Marlin Spingarn unique. It was formed in 1914 through a gift from Dr. Jesse E. Moreland. He was an alumnus and trustee of Howard University. He had been encouraged by faculty here, especially Kelly Miller, who was someone who pioneered in studying black life in this country. And Dr. Moreland was encouraged to donate his personal library to Howard University to establish a national library, a national Negro library, as it was called at that time. One of the major features that we've been promoting recently has been the Howard University archives. This has given us an opportunity to show much of the documentary heritage of the university, many of the images that have been taken of university events and personages over time. This is an area that many individuals had not been aware of, but what it does is allow us to place Howard University into a larger world and international context, and the images and documents of the university's history are something which are now becoming more readily available for scholars who are studying Howard and its role in higher education in the United States. Moreland Spin Garn has been built largely on gift. Normally, we do purchase books, regular library books, those kinds of materials, periodicals, journals, newspapers. They generally come through purchase, although we do get donations of gifts from time to time. Other than that, we solicit and people approach us about materials they would like to see at the Research Center, things that people consider are important to documenting black life and culture.
Marlin Spin Garn Research Center on the campus of Howard University. Right now in the field, the marching Showtime band from Howard University doing their thing. Let's listen to them for a little bit.
There will never be a switch.
Test your gridiron knowledge with the Pro Football Pool at SunshineNetwork.com. Join a league, pick your favorites each week, and compete online for fantastic prizes.
Howard University was founded to educate former slaves and their descendants. Today, Howard is a predominantly black comprehensive university. It has grown from a single-frame building to a main campus of more than 89 acres with several other area campuses. Students come here from all over the globe to take part in more than 200 different areas of undergraduate and graduate study.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield, even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Travel provided by U.S. Airways, offering the Dividend Miles program with preferred levels of membership and benefits. With U.S. Airways, you can redeem your miles to over 500 destinations worldwide.
Legendary grudge matches settled once and for all, only on pay-per-view.
Time score, Charlie Neal and Ronnie Duncan. You're watching MEAC College Football Saturday, and we'll be back with the second half from Green Stadium in Washington, D.C. in just a moment. Stay with us. 14-7 is our halftime score. Charlie Neal along with Ronnie Duncan, Joyce Jackson down on the sideline. And we'll take a look at our MEAC Players of the Week. Offensive, defensive, and so forth. The quarterback was Jawan Sider. And you see what he did against Morgan State. 17 of 21, 276 yards, 5 touchdown passes. Defensively, Rod Farmer from Delaware State led the defensive charge as they upset Bethune-Cookman. He had 4 tackles and a pair of sacks. The offensive lineman of the week, A&T's Chad Mann. We saw him a week ago against Norfolk State. He graded out at 90%, 377 total offensive yards for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. And the Rookie of the Week from Norfolk State, Marcus Gray, with 9 solo tackles, an interception in a loss to North Carolina A&T. Our offensive and defensive players of the week, congratulations to those gentlemen. And some other games happening in the MEAC this afternoon. Well, Delaware State, that was last night. They lost to Hofstra 58-14. Also going on this afternoon, Bethune-Cookman's playing Johnson C. Smith. Morgan State plays Townsend. Norfolk State's at South Carolina State. And Hampton plays the Aggies of North Carolina A&T down in Greensboro, North Carolina. So quite an exciting afternoon of action in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. And glad you could join us here for MEAC College Football Saturday. Like you said, Ronnie, everybody came in expecting the air assault, the air attack, and we've had a defensive battle here so far.
That's the one thing FAMU has not seen in conference play. They're 3-0 in conference play. Howard is 1-1, but the one game they lost was to Hampton, a game in which they lost by just 1 point, 28-27, but a game in which we saw the coming out party of Jermaine Hutchinson. So I'm looking for a good game. I'm looking for Bobby Townsend to finally get loose. There is no way that you can be a kid who does what Bobby Townsend has done all season long. 1,055 yards coming into the game. No passing yards so far today.
No question about it. And, but they've done a good job in terms of being able to run the ball and the defense. You have to credit the defense. And what makes it more ironic is because this is a young defense. This Howard University team has 38 freshmen on its roster. Many of them are on the defensive side of the ball. They're playing sometimes 7-8 freshmen at one time. So that makes a big difference. And they've been able to rise to the occasion against this high-powered offense.
Well, the one thing Steve Wilson has been looking forward to is the leadership he's getting today from Omar Evans. They're going right to him. Number 23 is seeing a lot of FaceTime on TV, and the reason why, because of the simple fact that FAMU throws the football, and the Rattlers do. Let's face it, Charlie, conference play, they're averaging 66 points a game. They scored 76 points against South Carolina State, 66 against Morgan State, and then you've got 56 they scored also earlier this year in conference games. So this young man is a young man that I've been dying to see, and finally I'm getting a chance to put my eyes on him. And I'm talking about Jawan Sider. You talk about a young man who's only played in 4 games. He's got 760-some yards passing coming into the game, but then 11 touchdowns so far on the season. That lets you know that he was a very talented player that got away from a very good school.
Well, he came in relief of Quinn Gray in the Miami game, which they lost 57-3. He started. Actually, he came in relief of him in the Tennessee State game, not because Tennessee State or because Quinn Gray was hurt, but because they needed to find some solution to trying to, solve that riddle of Tennessee State. Well, Joyce Jackson's downstairs with Steve Wilson. Let's see what his strategy is for the second half. Joyce, down to you.
Yeah, Coach Wilson, your team is only down by 7 points. How do you approach this second half? What's the strategy?
Well, we feel good about our position. We know going in there we had an explosive offense. Our defense played well, got some big turnovers. Now, offensively, we have to make sure that our running game stays intact where we can keep our balance on offense.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you very much. Yes, the running game has been working well for them. Back up to you, Charlie.
And like you said, that balanced attack is what you need because everybody's looking for you to throw, and they've been able to run.
They've got the better football team right now. I would say Steve Wilson and the Howard Bisons are the better football team. A year ago it was 69-41. When you talk about playing the Rattlers, you talk about scores and exciting football. But the one thing you can do on them, and the one thing Howard has been able to do, is run the football. And one of the main reasons is Jermaine Hutchinson.
And David Johnson has not been able to bring it out today, but this will be the first time, and he's going to try it, and he gets it out shy of the 20-yard line. So he may have fumbled the football, but the whistles, I believe, blew, and he is going to be down. So they could have had it at the 20. They've not run one out of the end zone today. A great job has been done all day long by Jeremy Edwards to make sure that they didn't get the ball out of the end zone.
When something goes wrong, you hear about the credit of the special teams. But if something goes right in a football game, you better believe any coach will tell you special teams have a lot to do with a lot of success on the football field, especially when you get excellent field position and you can cover the defenders coming up the ball on special teams.
First down and 10 from the 19, Howard University. Starting the second half, and they keep it on the ground with Jermaine Hutchinson, and he's hog-tied on the far sideline. And nothing doing there And that was Jerron Daly, who's been all over the place this afternoon.
Jerron Daly is a fine football player, but the one thing you've got to do is stop a star player. And when you stop Jermaine, you stop the running attack of the Howard University Bison. This is a great field to run on because it is AstroTurf. And anytime you got a guy who has such speed and power as Jermaine, you better not complain, man. Yeah. You better make sure you get some yards.
Because he will make you look foolish. He'll make you break a couple of ankles. Javante Philpott comes to the far side. He's covered over there by Darnell Vickers. And now timeout has been called by Howard University. Apparently Bobby Townsend didn't like what he saw or wasn't ready, or they were going to get a penalty for the play clock running down on him. So he wisely calls a timeout. Comes over to the sideline to talk to Steve Wilson. That's Jimmy Joe, who's the offensive coordinator of the Florida A&M team. He's down in the huddle. He's the brother of Billy Joe. No, that's the defensive coordinator down there. That's Clifton Moore, the defensive coordinator right now. But Billy Joe's brother is the offensive coordinator. That's Jimmy Joe along the sideline there. And he sends all the information in after talking and conferring with Billy, who sits up in the press box and has done that for years.
This young man, number 6, has been the question mark so far in the first half. No yards passing for a young man who's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the MEAC, and that's Bobby Townsend.
From the shotgun, he's working on second down. He's back to pass. Stands in there, has time, throws, and is complete to Elijah Thurman. Thurman with a first down, and Thurman across the 30, out to about the 33-yard line. So Elijah Thurman with his second reception today, and he moves the sticks for first down.
Elijah Thurman, when you talk about receivers in the MEAC, perhaps none come any better. He and Nunley are the best, and they're being showcased today on the MEAC Game of the Week. That's a name that Howard fans have been wanting to hear a lot today.
Yes,
and
indeed.
That's Elijah Thurman and Bobby Townsend hooking up.
Here's David Johnson through the hole. Not much running room for him there. Grover Fields, the first man to make contact with him. Actually lost yards, maybe half a yard or back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. So make it 2nd and 11. We're just starting the second half. Steve Wilson says this is the youngest team he's had in his 10 years or 11 years that he's been at Howard. But they have a lot of talent, maybe the most talented, but they lack experience depth. In other words, playing time. Townsend throws incomplete. He was throwing across his body, and it was Richard McIntyre was the intended receiver. And McIntyre was open. But Bobby, both quarterbacks today really have not done a great job in getting the ball to their receivers.
Charlie, the game's on national television. You're going up against the best football team in your conference. Everyone is saying, let's face it, at the beginning of the season, everyone picked who to win it all in the MEAC? FAMU. Howard was perhaps the stepchild, the one that everyone said, well, maybe they can win, maybe they can't. Sure, Steve Wilson's a great coach. Sure, they went undefeated his first time out. He's the best coach ever in Howard University history. However, today, you want to showcase your skills.
David Johnson. I don't know why he ran into the man. He should have taken it outside, but a great run by David Johnson after the catch. On the screen pass, Aaron Gray had a hand on him, and he just, well, let me say this. Aaron Gray tried to put a hand on him. Aaron Gray will be going in for surgery for a broken ankle tomorrow.
I tell you what, man, you talk about breaking some ankles. Watch him here on the pass, man. He gets out there, and he says, wait a minute. I got all this daylight. I can make all these moves. Watch me. Oh, man, Charlie Neal's going to be talking about my play on TV.
1st and 10, Howard University at the 25-yard line. There's the young man out of Largo High in Largo, Maryland, David Johnson. And mix-up on the handoff, and Howard may have coughed the ball up. It goes over to Florida A&M. They get all the way down to the FAMU 25, and they fumble.
Those are the kind of plays that haunt you. You see a nice play. Johnson comes all the way down, gets an excellent position to perhaps score, but then all of a sudden, you make the big mistake, and you can't afford to make that happen or let that happen in a game like this.
Another turnover for Howard, their second of the day. Let's see if FAMU can capitalize.
You all right? Come on, yeah. Hold up. That's how we're going to do it. Come on.
You're in my house now, okay?
How much they paying you?
Because I don't see it.
This might help you. This really might help you.
I'd take them off if I could find the laces.
Hope you miss it.
Think this is the only way you can afford to travel? Great.
Third quarter, Florida A&M just created a turnover for themselves, and they have the ball 1st and 10. Accommodations, compliments of the Washington Plaza Hotel, conveniently located to the Capitol, historic Georgetown, and many attractions and government office buildings. For reservations, call 1-800-424-1140. The Washington Plaza Hotel, 10 Thomas Circle Northwest, Washington, D.C. 1st and 10. Florida A&M. And they drop the ball. It's a game of turnovers. Let's see who has it. And Howard University has recovered.
How slippery can it get? That pigskin out there, turnover here and a turnover there. Every time you turn around, somebody's turning off the ball everywhere.
Lamont Darden with the fumble recovery. The third turnover of the day for Florida A&M.
I don't know what's
just 4 seconds after the other one.
Charlie, I don't know what's going on with Sider right there. It seems like it was a lack of concentration. The snap appeared to be just okay. You got to make sure you're on the right count. And Steve Wilson is probably saying to his troops, look, you don't get situations like this. Let's make it good. Let's get into the end zone and tie this baby up.
So, again, nobody wants, this is a game of giveaway here in the third quarter. Nobody wants the ball. Townsend back to pass. Throws. And no flag. How could you not throw a flag on that?
That was a bad call by the official. Never really took a look at it, and you can see it quite obvious,
non-call. That's a terrible non-call.
You know, when you have a play like that and everyone in the entire stadium sees exactly what happened, even the folks from the opposition, you got to say exactly what's going on out there with the official. Were they looking at the play?
Even the players were waiting for that call.
Too much contact.
There's 3 officials around that play, and nobody threw a flag. The question maybe was it catchable, but we don't know. Townsend, incomplete. One Hobson, and it goes incomplete. And Philpott was the intended receiver. Rover Fields quartered on the short hopper to bring up 3rd and 10.
You know, a lot of people will talk about was it a catchable play. We're talking about one of the best receivers in the MEAC, Elijah Thurman. We're talking about a young man who's burned just about everybody in this conference. I think there's a possibility it could have been caught by him. That's my prospect.
Lead to MEAC in turnover ratio. That is Howard. They're a +6 in that department. Townsend from the shotgun. Time. Thurman! Touchdown! Howard University!
That's been a combination the Bisons have been looking for all day long. And Charlie, I felt that it would happen. You talk about it, Bobby Townsend going back to pass to Elijah Thurman. And we talk about the no call. Well, I tell you what, you don't have to make a call on Elijah. He makes the call on you, and baby, call it up for 6 points. Elijah Thurman and Howard have come back, and you just don't know. They're getting ready to put it down again.
11:50 left, third quarter. Card on for the point after to tie it at 14. He's 10 of 14 in that department this year, making 11 of 15, including an extra point today. And the kick is up. It is good. We're all tied here in Washington. No good. No, it's no good. So this has been the Achilles heel for Howard University this year. They had 2 extra points blocked against Hampton University. That caused them a 1-point defeat. But let's look at Thurman's catch. It's still a 1-point ball game. We'll be back.
Let's ask. Oh, banks have the best rates.
But banks only lend money when you don't need it.
Advanta National Bank is different.
Good to stop.
And he's talking about how his defense planned on stopping them. And it goes out of bounds at about the 5-yard line.
Charlie, going back to Roy Anderson, how fulfilling this has to be. This is a kid from Tallahassee. He gets a touchdown pass, and of course he goes in for 2. Now you talk about a kid who also got his first career touchdown pass in a situation that helped out.
Let's look at the Greyhound scoring drive. It covered 37 yards. It was a 7-play drive that covered 1:52. And let's go down to our Joyce Jackson, who's got an update on the injury to Bobby Townsend. Joyce.
Charlie, the reason Roy Anderson is out there able to make plays for Howard University is because Bobby Townsend is nursing a foot injury. The trainer says he has a bone injury in his left foot that he's been getting treatment for the last 3 weeks, but one of the FAMU linemen stepped on it and aggravated that injury today. But she says that if he's ready to go back in, or if Steve Wilson calls his number, he is ready to go back in. But I think he may stay with Anderson for now. Back to you, Charlie.
All right, Robert Walton couldn't hold on to the pass, and even if he had, he was out of bounds. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Florida A&M. The ball at their own 35-yard line.
You know, Joyce talked about Townsend with the foot injury. I saw Townsend holding on to his neck. I also saw Bobby over there talking to the coach, saying, man, please put me back in. Please put me in. But see, when you've got a hot player, like you've got Anderson right now, you stay with him. This young man's confidence, he was born with it, Charlie. You can tell by the way he came out there on the football field.
And Quinn Gray has some confidence himself. He's gotten Florida A&M moving. Now let's see, who is this on? Is it on the defense, or was there movement on the offensive side of the ball? The officials confer. It's against Howard University. They were not drawn offside, so instead of 2nd and 10.
Got defense, dead ball, offside 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and 10. The ball moved out to the 40. 14:38 remaining here, and we're in the 4th quarter here. It's all tied up at 21 apiece between Florida A&M and Howard University. Cedric Mitchell is the man in motion, and they hand off to another quick-footed running back, Travis Williams, junior out of FAMU High. He was a baby rattler down there at Florida A&M. Bobby Townsend getting a rest here, not because he wanted to, but by default because of the foot injury. That's the stats he finished with. Not one of his better days as a starter. They're going for it on the 1st down. It was a 3rd down play. They move the pile forward and get the 1st down. It was 3rd and short. They bring it out to about the 47-yard line. Florida A&M 1st and 10 as they continue to roll along. And Howard University's Obi Ara is a little gimpy coming off the field right now. Quinn Gray from the shotgun. And again, they give it off to Travis Williams. He came in with a 3.8 average, 134 yards on 35 attempts with 1 rushing touchdown. First time we've actually seen him in the lineup. They've been using Ken Williams in the backfield. They used him when Jawan Sider was in there. They've kind of changed things up. We've even seen Jacquay Nunley line up in the backfield today. And again, here's Gray, back to pass. Throws, incomplete. Cedric Mitchell, the intended receiver. Double coverage by Howard's Rashad Frazier and Brian McDonald.
Brian McDonald and Rashad Frazier were definitely over there on Mitchell, and what I liked about it is that they teamed up on him together. You had the corner, and of course you had the free safety applying the right type of pressure to make sure that the offensive player, being the wide receiver, doesn't get downfield.
Some of the other games going on in the MEAC today. Norfolk State leading South Carolina State at halftime. Hampton losing to A&T down in Greensboro, 20-6, also at half. Maybe some upsets in the making. Quinn Gray on 3rd and 11. He's running, trying to get the 1st down. He's out of bounds, does not get it, or does he? Now's a late flag. Well, he's going to get it now with the flag. They're going to call a personal foul, late hit out of bounds against Howard. I know that's what it's going to be. Watch.
Obvious, you see him here, Quinn taking the ball by himself. He says, look, I've got to try to find a way to get that 1st down. There's the late hit. there by Brian McDonald.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Florida A&M. In case you just joined us, it's been somewhat of a defensive battle in this game. FAMU scored first. Sider, a 19-yard pass to Kanan Lamb. Sider had a 4-yard run, and Florida A&M was up 14-0 with 8:09 left in the first quarter. Howard University came back and scored with 1:36 left on Hutchinson's 15-yard run. And there was no scoring in the third quarter. Quinn Gray. And he is dropped for a loss by Doug Miller. Douglas Miller out of Tampa, Florida. Most experienced defensive lineman that returns. He'll turn 24 years of age on Tuesday. Let's watch him work.
Tell you what, Doug Miller gets back there, 6'3", 285 pounds. You know what? He recorded 12 solo tackles last season, 11 assists. 7 of those tackles for a loss and a sack. He got a big one today.
He's coming after him again, and this one goes incomplete. Intended for Travelers Williams. Then again, it was Doug Miller who had 2 sacks coming into today's game, putting the pressure on Quinn Gray. Defense is the cry from the Howard faithful. It's a 3rd down play. Florida A&M hit a big 3rd down play earlier in this half. 12:33 remaining, all tied at 21. 3rd and about 21. Quinn Gray steps out, throws. Demetrius Bentros intercepted. Great timing and great leap for the interception by Serge Sajor. His first interception of the year. He just timed it perfectly and went up and snatched it out of the air.
One time you can go to the well, one time too many. And Serge Sajor was up there, and baby, watch what happened. He plays it like he's playing on an outfield on a baseball field. Man, he grabs that football, and happy days are here again on the campus of Howard University. Your stands are jumping, and everybody's saying de jour for more.
So it's all tied at 21. Soup de jour. We'll take a salad with that one.
Upon us, it's college football at its best with hard-hitting, non-stop action. From Tallahassee, Florida to Washington, D.C., MEAC Football in 1999 will keep you on the edge of your seat with the stars of tomorrow today. The MEAC invites you to tune in next week for the State of Virginia bragging rights as Hampton University takes on Norfolk State University in the Battle of the Bay. Check your local listings for time and station. Just electrified the Howard crowd with a 50-yard field goal. He was 1 of 1 earlier in the season.
And the receiver doesn't know where the football is for FAMU. Can Howard get it? I cannot believe the Florida A&M return man, that was Alvin Swoop, didn't have no idea where the football was.
Swoop, all you had to do was just swoop the thing up, man. Just swoop it on up. He couldn't even do it. The thing that killed me, Charlie, is that he's sitting there, he's like, where did it go? Where did the football go? Oh, it's in front of me. And he nonchalantly tries to pick it up. Man, it's too late for that. We talked about it last week on the MEAC Game of the Week. That's the toughest job in football. And you know what? I never wanted it. Returning punts or kickoffs.
6 plays, a minus 18 yards on that drive, 3:20 off the clock, and they come away with positive points. Who would have thunk it? The quarterback is slammed down after a gain of 1 or 2. Roan Hill was the man on the spot.
I was so glad to see that for Roan Hill. You talk about a guy who finally is getting his due playing college football. You talk about 2 knee injuries that basically have kept this kid out of college football. This is his year. He says, you know what? This is my coming out year, and I definitely want to get a big tackle, number 53. I'm just so glad we were able to mention his name, Roan Hill.
He's had a pretty good game here for Howard this afternoon. We've called it a number of times. A gain of 1 on the last play, 2nd and 9 from the shotgun. Here's the quarterback again.
Oh, yes.
Nowhere to go. And who was there? It was
Marcus Rogers.
Doug Miller. Douglas Miller, the man on the spot.
Wow, number 85 all in there, man. getting all in that kitchen. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is that the Howard defense is pumped. And everyone who is playing defense, and watch him, he fights off his man. He says, man, you are mine.
Third down, under pressure in the end zone. Here comes Quinn Gray. He sidesteps one man, gets the first down, and finally runs out of bounds across the 20 to about the 25. He had some pretty good downfield blocking that time that allowed him to turn the corner.
That's right. It's not over until it's over, man. The thing about it is that you have to contain the blockers, and that's exactly what they were able to do when Early comes through with some positive yards.
Nobody's leaving here. 5 minutes to go. 24-21 Howard. They've trailed all game, tied it up, and then had taken a lead on a 50-yard field goal by Card. Quinn Gray, under pressure, throws back across his body, intercepted. The third interception today by Howard University. This one is by Vontre Long. Vontre Long, the freshman, a true freshman from West Charlotte High. And that is his first interception of the year.
All I can say is Quinn Gray is letting the blue get in the way, the Bison blue. Watch him here. He's going to see some pressure. He releases the ball. But look at Mr. Long. He says, man, this belongs to me. Howard with the football. Once again, third interception of the game.
Last three possessions by FAMU have ended in interceptions. And remember, they brought in Quinn Gray in relief of another quarterback who was having his problems, and that was Juwan Sider. But Sider didn't throw all those interceptions. First and 10, Howard. Cut back. And up to the 45, 46-yard line goes Jermaine Hutchinson. A gain of 6, second and 4. Now all Steve wants to do is let that clock run down. 4:40 remaining.
The thing about it, 1, 2, 3, first down. 1, 2, 3, first down. If you can play the clock,
keep getting these little yards,
your best friend. Yeah. All of a sudden, FAMU loses this game. Howard wins.
Big game for both of these squads. Howard, remember, lost to Hampton by having a couple of extra points blocked earlier this year by 1 point, 28-27. Not much there. Loss of 1 yard on the play as the defensive line, including Cola and a couple of other players, were able to string things out. Cedric Boyd also being among them. Look at what's happening down in Greensboro. The Aggies trying to knock off the top team, that is Hampton University, 27-6. And look at Norfolk State. They are muscling their way up the ladder with a 4-point lead over South Carolina State and Orangeburg.
We will see North Carolina A&T once again. We're going to see Hampton, of course.
We're going to see Hampton and Norfolk State next week in the Battle of the Bay. That should be a good one. Here's Charles Anderson trying to get the first down. He does. Very big run for Howard University and a big first down. More importantly, they keep the ball and the clock continues to run as they get into FAMU territory right across midfield.
Going to be some interesting decisions for Coach Steve Wilson to make next week, because if this continues, you've got to look at things and say, you know what, Anderson only a sophomore, but he had the presence of mind to keep his composure, to maintain some positive drives. Who do we start next week, Bobby Townsend or Anderson? And
well,
Anderson
I think the question is going to be Bobby Townsend, but one of the things one of the things Steve Wilson was planning with Anderson is with the type of defense that he expected Florida A&M to play against him, he knew that Anderson was the quicker of the people in terms of having to move outside.
And that helped, because let's face it, in the first half, and I saw a lot of the first half, Townsend was not effective. He could not find his receivers. He was able to get Thurman in the third, but it wasn't for as much as Steve would have liked to see.
And there's a timeout on the field. FAMU exercises one with 2:47 to go.
Ready for everything you asked for. Two high-powered teams going toe-to-toe. Here we are, 2:47 to go in the fourth quarter, and the home team leading by 3 after having to rally. Charlie Neal, Ronnie Duncan, George Jackson also with us here in Washington, D.C. Howard with the ball. And we're going to have a penalty against Howard. Elijah Thurman, he moved a little prematurely. False start.
and that's a 5-yard penalty. So instead of 2nd down and 6, they're going to be 2nd and 11 for Howard.
Ball start on the offense.
Elijah, a little anxious to get into the flow. Ball removed back to the midfield stripe. Roy Anderson, Tallahassee, Florida's Godby High, running the offense for Howard University. And again, Jermaine Hutchinson on the carry to bring up 3rd and 10. And now Florida A&M has used its 2nd timeout with 2:40 to go. So it's not over yet, folks. Hold on to your seats, as we said earlier. Fasten your seat belts. You're in for a heck of a ride. And it's been a heck of a ride this afternoon here at Green Stadium.
We're talking about Billy Joe. And anytime you speak of Billy Joe and you know what he can do as an offensive coach and as a coach of a team like the Rattlers, who are 3-0 in conference play, who have averaged 66 points prior to coming in.
I'm looking down on the field, and Luther Palmer has his defense around him. We'll be back in a moment. Third down and 10 for Howard University. Big 3rd down play. Another one right now, right at the midfield stripe. As FAMU has used 2 timeouts, 2:34 to go. Jermaine Hutchinson trying to cut back, and not much for him there. Again, he loses yards. So to bring up a 4th down punting situation. As we went to break, the defensive coordinator of Howard, Luther Palmer, gathered his defense around, talking strategy, knowing they possibly might have to give the ball up. And let's see what we can do to contain this FAMU offense once they get their hands on the ball once again.
Give FAMU a minute, give them 2 minutes. Doesn't make a difference. You're talking about a dangerous situation anytime you've got Billy Joe's team out there on the football field.
And Travian Turner is the deep man. Now let's look at our United States Marine Corps player of the year, of the game rather. Ken Williams, 16 carries, 113 yards. Charles Card with the 50-yard field goal. He deserves it. He deserves it.
He does.
Because he's been taking a lot of heat for a long
Getting dogged out up here, getting dogged out in the fans.
He's from
then all of a
Southwest.
sudden he says, hey, guess what? How do you like me now?
How you like me now? From Southwest DeKalb High down in Atlanta, Georgia. And he has put Howard ahead right now. Jason Walker, who has again had his problems punting today. Let's hope this is a good snap for Howard. And he gets off another high hanging one. His hang time is fantastic. And a fair catch called for by Mitchell, who after he signaled decided he wanted to run because he had some room, but that's not allowed at the 21-yard line. So if this score holds up, if the A&T score holds up over Hampton, A&T winds up in sole possession of first place in the conference.
You know, we saw them last week, and they looked extremely good. As a matter of fact, some things happened in that game that took them to another level. You lose your quarterback, same situation, and then all of a sudden, you see another young man come through. I like the A&T team. I think Billy Hayes has done a fine job putting a group of young men together that a lot of people didn't think would do as well in this conference so early.
At their own 21-yard line. And here we are with reception by Cedric Mitchell. Or Kanan Lamb, correction. And they are trying to get the hurry-up offense going. 1:38 left in the contest. The clock is running. 1:35. It is 1st and 10. Flag is down. And it's caught on the sideline by Cedric Mitchell. But let's see what the penalty marker is all about. We have a flag down. Might be against Howard. I think they had too many men on the field or illegal substitution. It is illegal substitution against Howard.
Of illegal participation on blue, 12 men on the field, decline, 1st down, Florida A&M.
So the 1st down sticks move to midfield. They're 50 yards away from pay dirt, 1:29 to go, and trailing by 3. That is Florida A&M. Again, the quarterback who's thrown 3 interceptions, Quinn Gray, is calling the signals for Billy Joe and the Rattlers. Gray has some running room. In trouble. Caught from behind. Gains about 3 yards. May have lost the ball, but the official said the ground caused the fumble. 1:15. The clock continuing to run down, though.
No time to panic right now. There's still plenty of time on the clock. When you have the offensive weapons that FAMU has, anything can happen.
A minute is the time remaining. Quinn Gray steps up, throws, incomplete. Cedric Mitchell, the intended receiver, on the sideline, and it goes incomplete, and that'll stop the clock with 54 seconds to go. Second down. Make it third down. It should be third down. Or is it second? Well, he ran on first down, right?
That's right.
He threw the pass on second down. What is this? A penalty? What was this penalty? Offsides. So they get the down over.
Ball's on the 42-yard line now, Charlie.
All right.
FAMU's dangerous.
Sure they are.
Okay.
Anything can happen.
Anytime you score 66 points a game in conference games, you are a dangerous threat.
In the middle of the field, great catch by Demetrius Bendros, sliding and diving.
What I like about that catch is Demetrius came back to the football. As a matter of fact, I thought it was going to be incomplete. But Demetrius, watch him here. You talk about an athlete making quick decisions, being able to change direction. He's going downfield. He makes the cut. And look at what he does.
43 seconds to go. Gray stands in there. He's looking. And he is down. Clock continuing to run. 30 seconds. Now this clock stops. I think this will be the last time out for Florida A&M. They exercise it here with 30 seconds to go and down to the 25 of Howard University. A field goal ties it and sends the game in overtime. But they would like to score and get out of here.
You know what? Just my point. As a matter of fact, I thought you were inside my head for a second there, because I'm saying, look, does FAMU say, okay, do we go for it or do we go for the field goal? They have, of course, more confidence in their kicking game, despite the fact that there have been 3 opportunities in which they could have put 3 points on the board that they didn't get. And so you have to ask the question as to whether or not FAMU goes for the win. But knowing Billy Joe the way I do, he's going for the win.
No question. Well, coming into the game, their kicker, Jeremy Edwards, was 4 of 5 in field goal attempts. The one that he did make was blocked. So he's been pretty accurate, except for today. He's missed 3 in this contest. A 52-yarder, a 42-yarder. It is second down, but more importantly, 30 seconds left in the regulation here. 3-point ball game. Gray standing in there. Bendros drops the football. Don't forget next week, that's Jockway Nunley who was the intended receiver. I thought it was Bendros. Next week we'll be down in Norfolk, Virginia. That's a noon kickoff. Hampton University, Norfolk State, both of them winning today. Or I should say Hampton lost today. Norfolk State's winning today. So we'll see what happens. That's the Battle of the Bay, and that'll be a shootout in Norfolk next Saturday. Check your local listings for time and station. Third down, Quinn Gray in trouble. Spun down, spun around. He is down. And it's Tracy White who stopped him. And now it's 4th down. Now the clock stops.
We got a dead ball. Offside. Blue.
So Howard was offsides. So they get another chance at the third down play. 18 seconds to go. Can your heart stand it? Depending on who you're rooting for, it doesn't matter. Your heart can't take it.
I don't know. Look who's sitting down. Steve, sit down, man. Steve said, I don't know if I can take this.
His heart can't take it.
You know what I'm saying?
Steve had the big one on the sideline.
He just had a bypass, man. He got up. He's okay.
Triple. So they get a third down. Jeremy Edwards today. He missed. And now they just spike it And that'll bring up a 4th down. That allows them to get the field goal unit on, I believe. And it brings up a 4th down situation. Now, I don't know if that was intended or not. What's going on? Let me find out. The quarterback took the ball and then spiked it. That was a 3rd down play. Now that brings up 4th down. I didn't understand that. I mean, it stops the clock with 7 seconds to go, and it allows you to get your field goal unit on. But that's about all it does. You would think he would at least try to go to get the 1st down.
You know, sometimes in the waning moments of any game, thinking goes out the sink.
So they do go for the field goal. This will be a 37-yard field goal attempt for Jeremy Edwards. That's his longest this year.
And you better believe everybody with a blue jersey is going for Jeremy right now.
You don't want to put him in the situation where you rough the kicker. Let him miss it on his own or block it. Slow snap. It is up. It's long enough, and it is good. And it's all tied at 24 with 3 seconds to go. Edwards, who had missed 3 earlier today, just hit on a 37-yard field goal.
Man, this has been the tale of the kickers. One kicker, Card, who doesn't get the respect. He says, hey, man, you're going to have to respect me. I put us in a position to win the game. Then Jeremy comes through with the field goal, and he gets it all in there.
Now, if we go into overtime, we get the ball at the 25. Each team gets an opportunity to do their thing. And, again, both teams have squandered golden opportunities today. As you see, Jeremy Edwards' kick is true and on the money.
Well, for anyone,
Marianna, Florida, number 2 scorer in the MEAC, that young man.
Charlie, for anyone who ever thought coming into this season that Howard didn't earn its stripes, they have earned their stripes today.
Yes, they have.
24-24 against, in my opinion, the best team in the conference in FAMU.
Now the Greyhound scoring drive. That was a drive that went a long way, 59 yards and only 142 because they only had 145 when they got the ball. So they did a good job, and they get the 37-yard field goal by Jeremy Edwards, the senior. So I've seen some 6 and 7 and 8 overtime games. I was involved in one 6 overtime game at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis a few years ago, and who knows? Who knows what we're in store for today?
Okay, Charlie, I might as well go.
I did say, but what did I say earlier? We could be here till 6 o'clock. I thought maybe I was out of the woods there for a while, but right now it doesn't look like it.
Well, you're Charlie Neal. I know you know what you're talking about. You get the inside scoop. Everybody knows that, Charlie.
You don't want a chance for a big run back. Here's David Johnson. Spins outside, still on his feet, but he'll be dropped down at the 32-yard line as time runs out. We'll be going into overtime. End of regulation here in Washington, D.C. on the campus of Howard University. David Johnson tried to get it back up the field. But again, Jeremy Edwards, Charles Card, the kickers have made the difference in this ball game here. Card with the 50-yard trickler that just got over the goal post. And Jeremy Edwards made it look easy. And at the end of regulation here, it's all tied at 24. Do what now? So in regulation, after the end of regulation, just checking some other scores, Ronnie. A&T's really doing a number on Hampton today. 41-6. That game is in the third quarter. That sounds like something that Florida A&M normally does. Score that many points on people. And Norfolk State is still leading South Carolina State, but it's 17-13. And that game is in the third quarter with Norfolk State on top by 4 in that one. But this game is going into overtime. So what happens is you get a coin toss. Each team gets an offensive chance at the ball. The ball is spotted at the 25-yard line. If you get the ball and you score, the other team gets the ball, they have an opportunity to tie it up. If they keep tying it up, then the game keeps going into the second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth overtime. If you score a field goal.
Excuse me, you're trying to set a record.
No.
And this 6 overtime thing, like you're trying to go to 7.
Well, you know, I think they can end it quickly. Somebody's going to make a mistake. Somebody's going to make a mistake, and somebody's going to wind up kicking a field goal and maybe winning it. But it's going to be very interesting. The officials, again, getting their strategy and overtime strategy together to make sure that everybody knows what needs to be done in this particular situation. Ron Askew, Roan Hill go out, I believe, for the coin toss for the overtime portion of this particular game. Remember now, let's recap the scoring in case you just joined us. It all started in the first quarter with Sider. Jawan Sider started the game for Florida A&M. He drove his team 78 yards and threw a 19-yard pass to Kanan Lamb to make it 7-0 FAMU. It was 14-0 about 4 minutes later when Sider completed a 43-yard drive. And that was after Bobby Townsend had fumbled the ball and Florida A&M had recovered. And Sider took it in from 4 yards out. Jermaine Hutchinson got on the board for Howard University with 1:36 left in the first quarter on a 15-yard run. That made it 14-7, and that was after they recovered the first of 5 turnovers today, making 6 turnovers today by Florida A&M. Their first fumble, though, and Howard University capitalized with Hutchinson's 15-yard run. Bobby Townsend in the third quarter pulled Howard to within 1 point with a 24-yard pass to Elijah Thurman. The extra point was missed, and it was a 1-point ball game, 14-13. FAMU went up again, 21-13. Let's see if we can listen to what's going on here.
I'm still going to flip this coin. MEAC is head. This is tail. You get to call it loud enough so the umpire and his friends can hear it over here. He calls a tail. It's a head. You have won the toss. You want to go on offense or you want to defend the goal? Okay. What end of the field you want to play on? This end? That end? Okay. You're going to play down here. You're going to be on defense first. You're going to be on offense first. You're going to start on the 25-yard line. Tell your teammates to come out and have a good ball game.
What happened was Howard won the toss deferred because they wanted the other team to get the ball first, see what they're going to do, then it determines what course of action you have to take. That's the best strategy to take in an overtime game. Let the other team, because if you hold them, you know, maybe all I have to do is get a few yards, get position, kick a field goal, and we're out of here. We're out of here. Just to continue with the scoring, it was 21-13 when Quinn Gray came in and threw a 43-yard scoring pass to Cedric Mitchell. That made it 21-13, but Howard came back. Roy Anderson came on for Bobby Townsend, who went out with an injury, and he threw a 17-yard pass to Javante Philpott, and that made it 21-21. And that tied it up because they ran the 2-point conversion. Carr just hit the 50-yard field goal to make it 24-21. Then Edwards' 37-yard field goal, and it's all tied at 24, and we're in overtime. And here are the rules. No clock. Each team gets the ball on the 25-yard line. The first team that scores and stops the opponent from scoring wins. Now, FAMU with the ball. And here's a play action. Here's Jacque Nunley on the reception. And Jacque Nunley gets about 3 yards on the play before he's run out of bounds.
Jacque's got to redeem himself. As a matter of fact, he had a chance to catch some really big ones during regulation. It went right through his hands. He's the man when it comes to catching the ball for the Rattlers.
In the overtime here, we're in the first possession of overtime. Low snap. Quinn Gray throws it, and it's caught. And that is Demetrius Bendros on the reception that time, and he's knocked down by Brian McDonald. McDonald made sure he didn't go after the ball. He would make sure he didn't get into the end zone. That's what he was making sure of.
Quinn Gray was able to get this ball away just in time. Demetrius with the catch. FAMU in a position to threaten the score.
The ball at the 4-yard line. Now Howard will get the ball back even with FAMU scores here. And it's incomplete. It's second down. Now they still get the yardage in terms of everything else. There's just no clock. It is second down and goal. The ball at the 5-yard line, 4-yard line. Tipped in the air. You want an interception, you want to recover a fumble, you want to do something to get the ball back in your hands. Here's the quarterback. Gives off to Ken Williams, who's in the end zone with a 4-yard run. So Williams, now you still have to kick the extra point and everything else.
Excellent play call there. Williams getting the ball on the pitch out. Took it right in, would not be denied. And look at that young lady. We got the whammy on you, baby.
Overtime 1. I call it overtime 1 because Howard will get the ball back. Williams with the 4-yard run. The extra point will make it 31-24. Jeremy Edwards, who hit the field goal that sent the game in overtime, hits the extra point, and it's 31-24.
Watch one more time. Jeremy Williams is a big kid. I mean, when he motors in there, no one is going to touch him. He jumps and runs right to Ken Williams, excuse me. And he says, don't touch this ball. It's all mine.
Now Howard gets an opportunity to tie. Now Howard has to score a touchdown. Otherwise, the game is over and FAMU wins. So 1st and 10 for Howard at the 25-yard line. They have to get into the end zone. They have no alternative. But you always give the other team an opportunity to go first, just in case your defense does something spectacular. But they can ill afford a turnover here because the game ends. Anderson. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of David Johnson. They were trying to set up a little screen to David. Second down 10.
Looked like it would have been a good play had David held on to the football. That was not to be the case.
If there's a knock or any disadvantage that Roy Anderson has is his ability to see way downfield and over the tall lineman in front of him because of his height. Not, Bobby Townsend is 6'6", Donald Clark is 6'5". I mean, you've got talking about tall people. Time, throws, incomplete, intended it for Elijah Thurman.
Well, right now they were trying to go with Elijah Thurman. Thurman was not able to hold on to the ball. 31-24 is the score. We're in our first overtime, and this will be a third down play for the Bison of Howard University. Howard has to score. If they don't score, FAMU will win the football game.
Third down. Howard has to keep the drive alive. Throws, and it's caught for a first down. Howard University, Javante Philpott comes out of nowhere in a crowd and keeps the drive alive for the Bison.
You know, Charlie, this game has been full of drama. So much drama, enough for your mama. Watch Philpott come up with it. You know what? For a while there, I was saying Roy will not get this for completion. But Howard,
and had he not been knocked down by the defender, he might have been in the end zone. It is 1st and 10 for Howard at the 18-yard line. We're in the first overtime. Jermaine Hutchinson trying to run it. He's still on his feet. Jermaine Hutchinson's in the end zone. Touchdown. Howard University University. Hutchinson with a 13-yard run.
Pretty amazing when you talk about that 13-yard run, because number 34, who they said, hey, give him 34. It reminds me a lot of Walter Payton. And if you know, Walter Payton is the all-time leading rusher in NFL history. He couldn't believe he hadn't been stopped. The way he was running that football, Charlie, I think Jermaine was saying to himself, whoa.
Now the all-important point after touchdown. Card, the left-footed kicker, needs to hit this one to keep the game going. It's up. It's good. We're going to our second overtime, tied at 31 apiece. As we step aside, we want to remind our affiliates to change over to Transponder 7. We'll be back. 2 overtimes coming our way.
For the first time ever on home video, the best of the...
He was 58 years of age. He was passed away earlier this week. Also, John McClendon, student of basketball founder James Naismith, former coach at North Carolina Central, Hampton, and Tennessee State, who won 3 straight NAIA titles at Tennessee State. He was the first black school to do so, and he's a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame. He also passed away. He lived out in Cleveland, Ohio. And he's also a member of the MEAC Hall of Fame. So we've lost 2 of our good friends this week, and we wish their families the best.
You know, John McClendon, what a great guy. I had an opportunity to meet him. Great basketball mind.
We got a chance to travel to Paris together, about 10 years ago. And we took a select basketball team over there, him and his wife, and we just had a great time. And I've been knowing Coach Mack, as he's affectionately known, for a number of years, ever since my affiliation in the MEAC has come into existence back in 1971. And I'll tell you, you won't find a finer individual.
You know, as a sportscaster in Cleveland, Ohio, a lot of people were not exposed to the four corners. They thought it was all Dean Smith. They were not exposed to the fact that he was the first black head coach of a professional basketball team of the old Cleveland Pipers of the old ABA days. And a lot of people don't want to give him the credit that he so richly deserves. But when you talk to the folks who know basketball, they know all about this man and what he meant to the game.
www.meacsports.com for all of your MEAC information. We're faced with a 3rd down and about 7 for Howard University. Flag is down. Let's see if there was movement by Howard. Looks like it may be coming back.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense.
So the ball is placed back at the 15-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 10. Make it 12. 3rd and about 11. The ball is placed right outside the 15-yard line. They're going to have to get to the 5 for first down. Big 3rd down play. Roy Anderson. Incomplete. Javante Philpott was there. Just couldn't grab the handle as Richard Brooks was defending. Charles Card comes on, and this will be a 37-yard field goal attempt.
Hate to see that happen because Javon was able to separate himself from the defender. Watch him here. He gets that distance, that little piece of daylight, but was not able to hold on to the football.
32-yard field goal attempt by Card. He hit a 50-yarder earlier to give Howard the lead. Let's see how he does here. It's up, it's long enough, and it is good. So Charles Card with the 32-yard field goal. Now Florida A&M knows all they need to do to keep the game going is score a field goal, but they'd like to get a touchdown.
Get a touchdown and we all go home, and the Rattlers go home very happy. But look at Card right here. You know what? He's going to get some props tonight, because if Howard wins this game, they will look at his golden foot and say, you are the golden man.
The golden man. So Florida A&M gets the ball now. Their second possession of overtime. We're in the second overtime. Now Howard's defense has to rise to the occasion. An interception a turnover of any kind, and Howard wins it. If Florida A&M scores a touchdown, the game is over. They can score a field goal and keep it going. Gray, who's played most of the second half and all of the overtime, then at quarterback, Glenn Gray. He's thrown 3 interceptions in this game. Looking down the middle, Kanan Lamb can't get to it, and they're going to call face guarding because the defender never caught sight of the football, Damian Moss. Over 15, so it'll just be a 15-yard penalty. It'll take the ball down to about the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal.
An all-out blitz on the quarterback.
On him.
Quinn was able to get rid of it. There stands the penalty.
That defensive pass interference is more than 15 yards down the field. 15-yard 1st and 10.
Let's take a look at this play one more time, Charlie, because from this angle, we might be able to see the dirty work, and there it is. You just can't hold on like that.
If he never touched him, nothing would have happened, because I don't think Kanan Lamb could have gotten to that football in that particular situation, because he didn't see it in time to make the adjustment.
But he's such a dangerous receiver.
Oh, he is.
And as a defender, you just don't want to get burned in a situation like that. So sometimes you do play aggressive.
Ball spotted at the 10-yard line, 1st and goal from the 10. Demetrius Bendros, 86 in your picture. He's had some big catches today. Ken Williams, watch out for him. He's been running with reckless abandon in the backfield beside Gray. And they give it to Ken Williams, and Lamont Darden is right there to read it. So it is 2nd down. Gain of 1. Here's Ken Williams out of Baltimore's Lake Clifton High.
Don't want him to get loose, because once Ken Williams gets that ball, he's a head full of steam. He scored the end zone.
He scored the first touchdown in the overtime. Thrown in the middle, knocked away at the last minute. Great defensive play down the field by Alton Perkins, getting his hand in there. Number 24. He's out of Oxon Hill, Maryland.
You got to watch this one more time, because when you talk about a great play, Alton Perkins comes up with one. Watch this. The blitz is on, but Alton gets there just in the nick of time and breaks up what could have been the winning touchdown.
Demetrius Bendros was the intended receiver. Ken Williams gets to the right side of the quarterback, Glenn Gray. And the quarterback decides he's going to keep it. He's stopped immediately. I think it was supposed to be an option, and there were some signals crossed between the two. They're going to bring in Jeremy Edwards to try to tie it and send it into the 3rd overtime.
Brian McDonald was saying option this, option what? There is no option. The option is simply this. Howard must win the game. 34-31. Watch him, number 8, coming in off the blitz from the corner position. Wraps him right up, man. When
Jeremy Edwards
anywhere to go.
Field goal attempt is up. It's long enough, and it's automatic. Jeremy Edwards, and we go to the 3rd overtime.
Now, how many overtimes in that one game? You said you did 6?
6. There's been an 8, and that was involving Bethune-Cookman.
You did that game?
I didn't do that one.
Okay, we're talking about the personal Charlie Neal overtime game.
It was in the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis.
I would like to make the Charlie Neal personal overtime book.
No, I don't. That book is got a lot of chapters in it.
34-34. That's our score, and we're about to go on to our 3rd overtime. Howard University, entertaining. Being good host, bad host, taking on FAMU.
So we're starting our 3rd overtime here in Washington, D.C. in a game that's been going for 4 hours and 10 minutes.
So you put the points together, you get 68.
Right.
FAMU was averaging 66 points a game in the conference.
Well,
See,
well, the important word.
Yeah, I mean, just think, at the end of regulation, the score was 24-24. So we've had 10 points by both teams here in the overtime. So again, they're going to talk to the officials about which side of the field they want to go to, which end they want to defend, and all of the good stuff. Is one thing I know Florida A&M will be glad is they're off next week. Howard has to come back home, and they'll host Towson State right here.
Towson has Morgan State tonight.
Yes, indeed. And of course, when you look at what's happening in Division I AA, all of Division I AA, you find that the MEAC has a couple of teams sitting there. Hampton, they may drop down after the day. They dropped from 8th to 13th this week after their loss to Southern University. Florida A&M moved up one after their win last week from 17th to 16th. Other teams getting votes this week from the conference was Howard, Bethune, and North Carolina A&T. Now let's look at some overtime records.
Both of you scored in this overtime period. You must go for 2. You may kick the extra point, but it won't count. Okay? Understand that?
In the third overtime period, they must go for 2 points after a score. But what they're trying to do is get it over with. What they're trying to do is not have 20 overtimes, because if everybody scores, kicks an extra point, scores, kicks an extra point, we could be here till tomorrow afternoon. We may bring it to the NFL today.
Now, you will be here till tomorrow afternoon. I got to be back in Cleveland. Then again, who knows? We may have to stay here tomorrow night and check out Heroes of Wrestling.
What is that?
That's a real good show, man. Yeah,
you know somebody that has that?
Friend of mine. That's those old-time wrestlers. I want to see Jimmy from Superfly Snooker.
Well, I had an opportunity this week.
I
had an opportunity this week to have lunch with Captain
Lou Albano?
Lou Albano.
Okay.
Yes.
Did he buy?
No, Bill Stoneball. Well, it's raining a little bit, and we don't know. It's not raining hard. It's sprinkling, but we don't know what effect that will have on the game. And as long as it's not a downpour, I don't think it will have much of an effect. As far as the Black College poll is concerned, Southern University is on top, followed by Tennessee State, FAMU, Hampton, Jackson State, Howard, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Bethune, Alabama A&M, and A&T. The quarterback almost lost the ball. Howard almost had a golden opportunity there.
Once again, Douglas Miller in on the tackle. Quinn Gray with the ball. Coughed it up, but was able to pick it back up himself. You don't want to make a huge mistake like that at a time like this.
In the first overtime, Williams a 4-yard run made it 31-24 FAMU. Hutchinson 13-yard run tied it for Howard. Second overtime, Card 32-yard field goal. Edwards a 29-yarder for FAMU, tied at 34. We're in the third overtime. Quinn Gray has a man wide open. Touchdown, Demetrius Bendros. And he was out there on just a long fade pattern. And he pulled it in from 25 yards out.
Demetrius Bendros had a little dance step to do for you.
Yeah.
A little something for you. Watch him here. Quinn Gray drops back the pass. He has plenty of time. Look at Gray out there by himself. And let me see your step, son. Let me see your step.
Demetrius. So Demetrius Bendros getting on the board. Now they have to go for 2. This would make it 42-34. Incomplete. They missed the 2-point conversion. So it stays 40-34. But more pressure again on Howard because they must score a touchdown.
If Howard does score a touchdown, the biggest player of this game has to be the one you just saw. Omar Evans, number 23. Omar timed it perfectly. He was able to get his hand in between the receiver, knock the ball down. No 2 points, 40-34. Howard can come back and score. Howard can come back, especially when you've got a Jermaine Hutchinson, and get 2 points on the conversion. This game is not over yet.
So the second half of the third overtime, that's the best way I can put it, is Howard's turn from the 25. Again, they must score a touchdown. David Johnson, the lone setback behind Roy Anderson, and David Johnson has the ball. Daylight for a moment, but it closed quickly after a 3-yard gain.
Man, he was very fortunate there. Charlie, there was a possibility that they were trying to strip that ball, and it almost came out.
Actually, it was just a 2-yard gain, and that'll make it 2nd down and 7. This is the third overtime between FAMU and Howard University. He had a man there. He waited too late to throw it to him. Elijah Thurman was out there way before Anderson threw it, and Thurman still almost came up with a one-handed grab.
Inexperience. You just can't see the entire field. You talked about it earlier. Bobby Townsend is 6'6". This kid is not as tall.
See, now watch the top of your screen. See, Thurman's there now. I mean, he could have thrown it just a little sooner, actually, when he started to make that break, but I guess maybe didn't have the confidence. Of course, Wendell Ashley was covering down there, and he didn't want to take a chance at an interception. So you do have to play smart at this particular time, especially facing a 3rd down. Now what do we have? A timeout by Howard. So Bobby Townsend will come, I should say Roy Anderson will come over to the sideline. And don't forget, coming up next week right here on MEAC College Football Saturday, we'll be down in Norfolk for Hampton, Norfolk, and don't forget the Heritage Bowl, the MEAC against the SWAC, December 18th at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. We may have had a preview of that last Saturday night. Hampton and Southern University, and Southern jumped all over top of that one in that particular game. But I'll tell you, when it comes to the bragging rights, when you get to the Heritage Bowl, the MEAC takes no prisoners.
Hey, how about that? National Black Champions, more than enough times. Great situation, and I'm looking forward to the game. And of course, our next game, we're going to be down in Virginia.
Bragging rights for the state of Virginia.
That's right down to Chesapeake Bay, Hampton University, and Norfolk State. And we get a chance to meet up again with Coach Mo Forte.
Yes, indeed. And, of course, Joe Taylor, who spent a year as the head coach of this, spent a year at Howard University. Joe Taylor as their head coach. This could be the winning touchdown pass. Here it is.
Demetrius Finley.
A leap, a little late in the end zone by Vontre Long, trying to knock the ball away. 3rd down for Howard University. Pressure on Anderson. Throws it. Incomplete. Intercepted. Game's over. Florida A&M wins 40-34.
He was under a lot of pressure. Let the ball go. Inexperience. Got a chance to play today, but made a crucial mistake. Once again, FAMU has taken over at Howard University.
Florida A&M beats Howard University. 6th straight time they've done that. Next week, we're in Norfolk, Virginia, as the Spartans host Hampton University. For Joyce Jackson, Ronnie Duncan, Charlie Neal saying so long from Howard University. We'll see you next week.